What's up, everybody?
Ooh.
Welcome. It's nighttime.
It's
This
the
is
right
love,
time.
Sex, and stuff. After
dark.
We talked about this for so long.
We did.
Because we had love and sex stuff, the hit show.
Yeah.
But we're like, we've given all the love and sex advice that we possibly could over the years.
The thing that
Honesty,
always
communication
and just direct talking to people. But the thing that I'm excited about for this is that we always dole out what a lot of people would say is some of the best love and sex stuff advice that ever imaginable. We never hear back from the person of saying like, "Hey, you've changed our life." So what I'm excited about is we're going to talk to that person, put them on hold. They're going to go do the thing we want them to do, and then come back and tell us if it worked or not.
But how are we going to do that?
I have no. Oh, how are we going to do that?
Yeah.
They're going to call in on this handy dandy phone that you've rigged up to look a little like an explosive device.
Just a little, though. We want to keep people on their toes.
Yeah.
We don't know if we're going to blow them up.
It's going to
You know
be
what I'm talking about?
very interesting. Oh, we're going to blow up their spot for sure. Should we lay down some ground rules for people?
Absolutely.
Right now?
Yeah.
Here's
if
what
you,
else.
If you call us, because we're about to reveal a
Right.
phone number that you can call this very phone.
Right. This phone right here is a direct portal into our soul.
And we're going to answer your questions, but they need to be about love, sex, or stuff.
Or stuff.
Yeah.
There it is.
We're adding the stuff there. That's some life advice.
I will also say this. If you are asking, if you're calling to talk about real people and you want some level of anonymity, that's on you. Okay? Don't be like, hey, I'm so-and-so that lives here and I live here. Like, you got to edit yourself here. We don't have a screener. Joey's in the next room, but she is not working on this project at all. Do you
She's
understand
ready
me?
to do whatever we need her to do, except for
Exactly.
most things. So here are the rules. We're going to put the phone number out there. You're going to call us. We're going to answer. We're going to ask you what your name is, and we're going to ask you what your question is.
Exactly.
We are either going to answer that question or make fun of you.
Yes.
One of the two.
Now,
things.
I guarantee that there's one of you out there. One of you out there is thinking, I want to fucking call in and be super funny. You're not going to be funny.
No.
And we're either going to hang up on you or just hang up on you and then
Rule number
proceed
3.
to destroy you.
Don't
to
fuck with
just
us.
gut you.
Don't fuck with
Like a
us.
fucking sour fish. Like a fish that's been out there too long because there's some sort of tariff or trade embargo. And they were like, leave it on the docks for a while. Okay, now you can bring it in. But the fish is all gone bad.
But wouldn't you not gut that fish then?
I would gut it and throw it at my opponent into his eyes.
All right, let's get
Are you
this
drinking?
go- What's up?
Are you drinking?
Are you not?
Yeah.
Oh, man, I know you're drinking tonight.
It's after. We got some White Claws, doggy dog. We
I want
got
a
some
Truly.
Truly.
Joey!
Joey, this is what you're here for.
Joey, I need a Truly. Your choice.
Uncle Nicky needs some Truly.
I love it.
Flavor preference?
Black cherry.
We'll see if we have any of those.
Did someone drink all of them, Joey?
Barrett.
Maybe. What is this? How to tie a tie?
Yeah, I'm trying to figure out a way. So if we want to do like how to tie a tie, we can then switch to this. you
Okay.
know?
And
Or I could
walk
just
them
show,
through it.
or I could just show people how to tie a tie on my own neck.
I recently learned how to tie a tie myself.
I know how to tie a tie.
Oh, no,
Yeah.
you have a tie.
Greg has like 15 ties back
Perfect,
there.
then we're
That's
all
true.
set.
Three
All right.
of which I just got dry cleaned for him, and he's like, "Thanks." And now
Here's the
it's a mess
situation,
again.
everyone. I need you to think real hard. Joey's getting this Truly. The moment that thing's cracked open, the phone number will be revealed, and you can call in.
That's right.
That's how it
Maybe
works
I don't even
here.
want. You know what's funny is I don't even want the Truly.
Also,
She's gonna bring it on now.
just one thing
I'll
for
drink it later.
if you call us and we've answered a phone call, it won't ring on our end, so we won't know. It will give you the option to leave a voicemail. Don't
Don't leave
because
voicemails.
we're not gonna listen to it.
This is
Telling
like
you
old
right
school
now.
radio challenges.
Do
I
it.
want you to know that you have the last.
Do it.
Last black cherry.
Do it.
And I'm really upset because I didn't see it at the
Do you want it? I don't care. I actually don't want to drink that much tonight.
But
There's
you
a.
have to.
Do I?
You have to.
Okay.
It's after dark. That's what happens here.
it.
All right.
That mic's live.
Crack that thing open. Kev, you ready?
I'm ready. Crack it open.
Oh, I have to crack it open. I'm
Yeah.
sorry. I thought crack it open meant put the number on the
You
screen.
crack that, which unleashes the phone
All
number.
right, ready? 3, 2, 1. Cracked.
Boom.
It's not there.
Are we supposed to see it?
You
here?
can't see.
Okay,
it.
cool.
Yeah.
Damn it.
Remember, I said, do we want to do a cool graphic for it? And Nick was like, no.
I thought you were just gonna do an overlay.
I am doing through OBS. So right now, people can see the number.
Don't we normally see the overlay?
There it is.
Oh, shit.
Our
You
first
wanna go
caller.
for
Yeah,
it?
I'll do it. How do we answer this thing? I assume it's
Explain
this.
it to Tim.
That, and then there's a speaker button you have to hit.
Okay, hold on, caller. I have to hit a speaker button. Hello.
Hello. Oh my God, I didn't think you guys would pick up.
Well, there you go. Dreams already coming true, sir. What's your name and what's your question?
My name is Ruben, and my question is, oh crap, I just had it.
We're just gonna sit in silence while you remember your question.
No, okay, so there's this girl at work, right? and I'm thinking of, asking her out, but I think it might be a bad idea.
You got a girl at work. You're thinking about asking out,
And you think it
Yeah.
might
and
be
you
a bad
think it might be a
idea.
bad idea. Why do you
Here's
think
the
it's
thing.
gonna be
My
a bad
gut
idea?
says it's a bad idea if you think it's gonna be.
My first instinct, yes, says that your first instinct is correct. First off, you're at work, so you're risking making this very awkward until one of you has to subtly get the other person fired.
I don't know if you
Which
remember
I
this,
think is
Ruben.
against the law in every state now.
The thing is,
We had rule number 2.
and I work in the warehouse.
So you work in the warehouse, and where does this person work?
She works in the office, so we're like separate.
So you're
So you're like
separate.
Daryl.
So it is like The Office.
Yeah,
Now,
he's
is
Daryl in
there
this situation.
a taller, better-looking man that she is maybe going to marry in the future that you don't know that you're?
No.
Okay. Here's what I'll say. I don't think this is a great idea. I'm never one for workplace, like love in the workplace. It generally goes south very, very, very quickly. And you're risking having a very awkward situation. You're also risking, in this day and age, having an HR violation as well if you make it awkward for her. So, depending on how much you like this person, I don't know. It might be. Is it worth your job?
No, I mean, no, it's not.
Okay, well then there you go. We have our first answer, ladies and gentlemen. Ruben, thank you very much for your call, for your question. We love you. Good luck in life.
I love you. Thank you very much. I appreciate the answers.
All
All
right.
right, have a good night.
It's just that simple.
It is.
He's gonna watch it. 5 months from now, he's like, I married her.
Millionaire.
Fuck you.
Millionaire
Fuck you.
with
I
a
hope
wife.
we get an
Hot
update.
wife.
That would be amazing. I don't
So-
know. What's your take on that?
It's
I'm not saying that the workplace.
Oh.
I'm not saying the workplace thing can't. Hold on. Hold, please. I'm not saying that the workplace love can't be a good thing. I'm just saying you're risking. If your instinct says don't do it, it's probably because
That's
she's not
exactly.
gonna do
It's not so much that it can't work. It's that it's not likely to work.
It's
and it
just-
is likely to cause problems.
It's just that you got to do what Uncle Nick used to do. Just go to the local strip club, fall in love with one of them. What's the worst that can
Find
happen?
love in a hopeless place. Rihanna.
You're on Love, Sex, and Stuff with Nick and Tim. Caller, what's your name and what's your question?
What's up, guys? My name is Nathan, and I'm just wondering, what are your guys' rules when it comes to getting back with an ex?
Ooh, what are the rules when it comes to getting back with an ex? Nathan,
So getting back, or having sex with.
What was that?
So just having sex with an ex.
or getting back together with?
No, like getting back together.
So this is a complex issue.
Yes.
Because if I were in my 20s, I would say don't do it. There's a reason why you broke up. But
Okay.
my wife and I broke up for a real long time, and then it was probably the best decision we ever made because we realized when we were apart from each other. This is not when we were married, obviously. When we were dating, we were apart from each other. We realized that we missed each other a lot, and we got back together. But I will say, the thing that broke you up before is still going to be there. So if you're ready and willing to put the work in to take that problem head on, then I would say, sure, get back together with that person. If you're just getting back together with that person because you don't have any other options and you're lonely, that's a hard pass for Uncle Nicky. Tim, what do you say?
Yeah, I think that's a really fair assessment there. It's, again, not that it can't work, just like the workplace love. It's that it's likely not to. And whatever that source problem was, you better have resolved going back into it, or else it's doomed from the start again.
Can I ask why you guys broke up in the first place?
Well, it was kind of like some personal stuff, but it was more of a mental health sort of thing.
Okay.
So it's kind of in a similar position to you, where it's like we've been apart for a little bit and we kind of miss each other. So I still think there needs to be some development there. So I was just kind of.
Well, let me ask you this. Have you guys talked about going to couples therapy?
No.
It's depending. I mean, I don't know where you're at with your life. I don't want to ask how old you are, but if this is a person that you think might be worth your time for a long period of time, might be worth just going and talking to someone together. One of the things that I found very helpful with that was, personally, I was like, wow, a lot of the issues that I thought were her issues are actually my issues that I was putting onto this relationship. And a lot of shit that I thought was an issue was actually just my own bullshit. So sometimes I'm a big proponent of talking through your issues with someone else listening to you who you don't know. Because when you see the reaction in their face to what you just said, you go, oh no, wow, I've been looking at this. It can be very enlightening and very, very
The
helpful.
embarrassment can
Yeah,
be
yeah.
shocking, and that will incite change. Hopefully.
Exactly.
I have many friends that have went to couples therapy, and I would say that for 9 out of 10 of the couples that I know that have done it, it has worked. It has helped a lot.
I think this, and this is the thing, I talk shit about the Catholic Church a lot because I think it's hilarious. But I will say one of the One of the things that they do, but when you're getting married in the Catholic Church, is you have to meet with a priest for a few meetings to work through some of the issues like money management or like who's going to do what in the household, things like that. Of course, I wouldn't know for sure exactly what they talk about because I didn't go. I quit the Catholic Church a long time ago. But what I honestly think there's that. If you're getting married, it should be a prerequisite to do at least 2 to 3 therapy sessions before you get. Even if you're fine, even if you think you're fine, sit there, figure out some, like, just talk about anything that's bothering you. Get it out of the way before you put a ring on her finger, because, man, let me tell you, once that ring goes on, it is exceedingly hard to get off. I mean, emotionally, not physically. You just take a hacksaw to it.
Yeah,
Oh my
exactly.
God.
But there you go. I mean, from what you're telling us, with the information that we're getting, it doesn't sound like you guys ended on bad terms, and it doesn't sound like you guys are not possible to be a match together. So I say don't give up on it, but you do need to work at it, and especially need to figure out what the core issue is and address that.
Okay. Well, thank you guys very much.
All right, brother. Good talking to you. Someone in the chat's like, Nick's not wearing his ring today. Yeah, I did. I'm not wearing my ring because I just came from jiu-jitsu and I'm a little disgusting, and I don't like putting metal on my body afterward because it grinds the bacteria into my skin, which is why I'm not wearing my watch either. But everything's cool with me and the missus, and she's very happy. I called her right beforehand, and I was like, "We have 4 Oreos left in the office. Do you want them?" And she was like, "No, thank you." But we're actually going to see Ford versus Ferrari tomorrow.
Oh.
I know, it's a little date.
Hey,
I called
Kev,
her and said she
can
wanted
you
to do a
bring
little
up
date.
the second image, please?
Huh?
I want to show Nick. So Kevin's about to bring up the number again, so people can. Oh well, we're getting a call.
Okay.
No, wait,
Well,
no,
that's really big.
that's the old one. But anyways, let's go. Let's answer.
All right. You're on with Nick and Tim. Caller, what's your name and what's your question? Oh, sorry. I gotta hit the speaker thing one more time. Hello?
Hi, can you hear me?
Yes. What's going on, man?
All right. My name is also Nick. Let's just get right into it.
So who's the better Nick? Clearly you. Apparently. You've won the first strike. What's going on? What's your question?
Talk with my friends, and we're sharing stories of our love life. And talked about an experience of mine, which happened to be eating ass.
Okay.
And I'm looked at like a criminal.
Yeah. Yeah.
What's the stigma behind it?
Well,
What did I do wrong?
if I may, sir, a lot of innovators were looked at as criminals back in their time. Okay, when Leonardo da Vinci was like, I'm going to fucking take some of this stuff and put it on a canvas, people are like, that's fucking crazy, man.
Yeah.
That's crazy. We look back at him as one of the greatest artists ever.
When Leonardo DiCaprio was like, "I'm going to make sure you live by jumping off of this board,"
Yeah.
we looked at him like he was crazy.
Plenty of room on the board for me, but I want you to live because you're of a higher class than I am.
Yeah. So we looked at them like they were insane. But kind of funny, I would say when we founded on few principles, right?
Yeah.
Best friends
Yep.
being one of them.
One.
And kind of funny eats ass. Is the other one.
Those are the two. One day we're gonna when we get a bigger office, we're gonna put one of those mastheads up. What do they call mantles? What do they call those things? Where it has our core tenets on it. It's just kind of funny. Best friends who eat ass. Mm-hmm. And if you walk through that door, you don't eat ass. You walk the fuck out. Unless you have Oreos with you.
But
Come on.
really, I feel like the most important thing there is, does your girlfriend like her ass eaten?
I mean,
of course.
we're
You know what I
assuming.
mean? But
I'm
like-
assuming that she likes that.
Like-
He's saying his friends look at him like
No,
he's
I know,
crazy
what I'm
because he
saying,
enjoys that.
That sucks for
So,
your friends
girl
that
I'm
like.
dating is big fan of it. Like I went in kind of blind, didn't really say anything when I did it. Went over perfectly well. It's now part of the routine. You know, this is a great thing. But when I talk about it with others, it's like, what are you crazy? I'm like, I enjoy it. She enjoys it. Isn't that what matters?
Look, here's the thing. There's an obvious stigma around it. There has been for a very long time. I feel like it's being normalized day by day, moment by
5 years.
moment. And I give it 5 years until it's totally acceptable. And not that it already isn't acceptable, but I feel like from the public eye of society isn't going to look down on you for going down on the behind.
I'm the opposite. I hope it's never accepted because that makes it nastier. I will say this as an important safety note: be careful going from the ass to the other one because that's where infections start. That's where you get really bad UTIs. So just be careful with
No
that.
UTIs.
If
I
you're going to
got you.
eat the ass,
Gotcha.
that needs to be your Dalzium finisher. You know what I mean?
Wow.
I know.
Wow.
I threw that out there.
Holy shit.
You just made a Street Fighter reference.
Yeah,
That's-
but it's not- they
Didn't
don't really
expect
have-
that.
no, they don't have
But I feel like the cleanliness and hygiene of
Oh, they gotta
of
shower
sex
beforehand,
in general is always key, always important.
yeah.
Sometimes it's not going to
Sometimes,
happen.
like, after-
Sometimes
yeah,
it's just the
like,
thrill of the moment.
shower,
You know what I
you
mean?
know.
Wait, hold on. What are you saying, Nick?
I said, yeah, like, it's not like we're doing it, like, after the gym. You know, it's like after a shower, we're doing it's like, hey, we both know it's clean.
Yeah, I mean, do you if that's your thing, if that's a kink that you like, but I would respectfully request that people clean out all of their orifices before we engage in carnal activity.
Yeah.
Otherwise, Daddy's only doing that hot mish.
Yeah. And here's the thing. Wash your mouth afterwards. You know what I mean? Like, go in the bathroom. Toothbrushes, they're a thing.
Wait,
this episode's not
listen.
sponsored, but you can go to quip.com.
You can.
/ kind of funny, I'm sure.
Or maybe just not, and then just, hang out with it all day.
I feel like tell your friends
Live my
to
life.
try, you know? Let your friends.
Yeah, you know what? Hey,
Listen.
show your friends this video. Nick, can we cut to Nick's one, please?
Hey,
Wasn't set up. But
listen,
Doesn't matter.
Listen to me, this person's friends. What's wrong with you? Try it. Maybe you'll like it. You don't know. Eat a little ass. You want to eat some ass? I eat ass. Here's what I'm going to say right now before we let this caller go.
Yeah.
There was a long time ago in a galaxy far, far away, Uncle Nick was in high school and college. And back then, people were all weird about going down on women. They were like, that's just weird. I don't understand that. Now, commonplace. I'm not saying I started the trend, but I was definitely one of the lieutenants in the trend. Okay?
You were in the trenches.
Because I had a
man.
lot of my friends that were like, I just want to have sex. I don't ever want to go down on a girl. That's a waste of time. And I'm like, bro, first off, you're not that good at sex. Let's all be honest. We're not that good at sex. Okay. If you want your wife to love you, you got to put the fucking work in. Like, you want that gold, you got to go spelunking. That's what I'm going to say.
You got to go spelunking.
You got to put the little thing on and get down the hole.
That's the bit. So you are 10 years older than me. I feel like you, being the general in the trenches back in the day.
You're welcome, bro, because I was the
you
one that
opened this whole world
I did.
for me and my friends and for my generation, where my generation is all about it. It's
You better be about it, bro.
I mean, it's like it's not even an option to not do it.
To me, it's honestly that is like where I look like, you know me. You know I like to make everyone happy. Okay.
I do.
You know that I'm not happy unless I leave the room and everyone's been like insatiated, right? For me, it's like a buffet. Like, I want everyone to get exactly what they want and as much of it as humanly possible. I'll be honest with you, I'm not great at sex. I'm okay at it, but it's not. I'm just not great at it. But what I am great at is putting the time in down there.
For
I'll
the
do it. I'll make it
for the
happen.
most part, if someone says they're good at sex, they're
lying.
probably not that good at
They're
sex.
lying. They're
You need
fucking
other
lying.
people to say you're good at sex for you to be good at sex.
I think if I got ranked by, if my wife were to rank me, she would probably put me in a solid 7.9, maybe 7.5.
Hey,
Same.
Fine,
I'll take it.
But like, if there's other games to play, you know what I mean?
Yeah.
Like, she ain't coming back to this. But luckily, I put that ring on. That's what I'm saying to the caller before. Once that ring goes on, ooh, good fucking luck trying to divorce me, lady. I will disappear on your ass. I will not sign papers.
I love it.
All
I
right,
love
thanks
it
so much for your call, man. I appreciate it. Good luck with the ass eating. But you just know that you're doing God's work. And don't go ass to puss. Okay, thanks.
you didn't even want to say bye.
He said bye.
Okay.
I'll tell you what, though.
Oh.
I mean, this is going splendidly. You're on with Nick and Tim, caller. What's your name and what's your question?
Wally.
Excuse me?
Wally.
Wally. Okay. Sure, that makes sense. Why not? Wally, you wouldn't be related to any space-faring creatures, would you?
But no, Wally. I work in a mechanic shop. Hey.
So before we left, I was like, Greg, are you coming back tonight? He goes, fuck no. I'm not coming back for that shit. I'm not going to waste my time with that. How long do you think he's been in the queue to make this call right now? Like 35 minutes he's been waiting to
He
dial
has like
back into this
6
thing.
fucking phones.
Wally, what's your question?
So I work with this woman, right? She's a single mom. I like her a lot. How do I make her son like me? He's
There you go. There it is. He made it a lot longer than I thought he was going to without laughing. There it is. Okay.
fucking fact. KMS sucks. I hate you.
I hate you back. See you on Monday.
Let him pod race.
Yeah.
I feel like that's
that's a
the key
good
to his
call.
heart. You
Buy
know
him
what I
a
mean?
pod,
Let
yeah.
him do what he wants to do.
I'll buy him a mini Yoda. He's gone. He hung up, I think. No, he's still here. Wally?
Hang up.
No, he's gone. Okay. Only Greg would get through on
Oh man, that was good.
this. That was a good
That was
one.
real good.
Oof, these are. I'll say, in the war of White Claw versus Truly, I gotta give it to the Trulies.
I am shocked that you'd say that.
They just
I
taste
don't hate
more like
Truly.
punch.
I don't hate Truly. Truly's fun to joke about and make fun of. It's the spiked seltzer that needs to die in a fire. The one with the mermaid.
You want to take this one?
Yeah, sure. Hello, you got Tim and Nick. This is Love, Sex, and Stuff After Dark. Who do we have speaking?
Or the big cat, as I'm known in chat.
Say that one more time. The big cat?
Lucas, a.k.a. the Big Cat.
Yeah.
Okay. What's
up,
Lucas?
Big Cat?
I've got a question for you guys. I'm a younger man, and I've only ever been in open relationships. A lot of no labels type stuff. Basically, how do I transition into more of a monogamous role as I get older? Because as of yet, I've got a pretty good amount of experience, just not one-on-one per se.
So you've been getting your fuck on, you ain't been getting your love on.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, that's a good way to put it, yeah.
Here's my first piece of advice is I feel, making a lot of assumptions here, but I
Joey
feel...
just laughed. Joey just laughed in the back room.
I feel like you might be putting on a front that is making people think that you are what Cool Greg might call a player.
Player.
You know what I mean?
Well, I try not to be. I'm definitely open to the sort of thing. It just, once we start getting into details of, like, I ask her, like, oh, what's going on in your dating life or whatever, it usually comes back to me, and I'm like, oh, I want to be honest, so I'm like, oh, I've got this and this going on, and she's like, oh, well, in that case, we can keep that sort of relationship instead of progressing to another sort of relationship.
So when I was first dating one Gia Tap Harris, who is now my fiance, I put a ring on it. She and her friends had what they referred to as their satchel. A satchel.
That sounds so dirty.
Is a small
That
bag.
sounds so fucking nasty.
But they would
small, warm leather bag.
Their satchel would be like they'd have all the dudes that they were fucking in that satchel, right? Mm-hmm. So it's like when they go on their girls' nights and they're like gossiping and talking and like, oh, how'd this day go? How'd that day go? It'd be like, oh, they're talking about the men in their satchel.
He ain't making the satchel.
When I was first dating her, I was another suitor in the satchel, right? There had to be that open conversation about where she was at. She was dating people. I was dating less people, no people.
Yeah, you were dating a big. Well, no, that's not true.
Yeah,
but
not true.
yeah, whatever.
It doesn't matter.
But that conversation, as it was happening there, it had to turn into the open, honest communication that we always talk about. Of, hey, this is something different than that. That's going on, but I see this to be a more serious relationship that I want to like pursue. And that is the thing where it's not just like a, hey, I got to be open and honest with you. I'm doing this stuff. It's honest saying I'm doing this stuff, but I like you enough that I don't want to do it anymore.
Okay.
Let me ask you this question. So you have a specific person in mind right now that you want to date. Is that correct?
Yes, that's correct.
Okay. And she is just playing the field right now, maybe hitting up the Tinders, all that stuff, just having fun, right?
Right. We're both that kind of having fun stage, but I want to start transitioning to more of the you and me, right?
Yeah. So I think that's an easy conversation to have, right? And it doesn't have to. You don't have to put an ultimatum out there. But have you asked her that yet? Have you said, hey, I'm really into you. I would like this to progress a little bit beyond just casual sex?
Yeah, but throw that back up in my face, being like, oh, you are also sleeping around, quote unquote. Like,
Well, yeah. I mean, if you want to be monogamous with someone, that's a two-way. I mean, you're gonna have to commit to that as well. You can't.
Right.
Yeah, there can't be a double standard in that. But I think that, I think a lot of the times people get in these grooves where they feel comfortable with the way things are working, right? But there's nothing wrong with saying, listen, this is the natural progression of a relationship. You go, that's what used to work for us. That's what used to make us happy. I want something different now. And you have to be willing to put that out there, but know that it might radically change the dynamic of your relationship. Ultimately, though, you will be happier if you're not being 100% fulfilled with this relationship, then you need to you have that conversation with her and basically say, I want more out of this, and the ball's in her court. If she says, no, I'm perfectly happy with where I'm at right now, you might have to give her a little space or walk away and find something else.
all right. So, as a follow-up, do you guys think I should, just go cold turkey into, hey, I've cut off the rest, I'm here for you?
No, so it's not about cutting off the rest. It's about having the conversation with her about cutting off the rest. Like, so is it? Let me take a step back here. Is there one specific girl that you are interested in here, or is it more that
he's got a girl that he's got.
said, yeah.
He wants to have that
okay.
conversation with her.
Right.
Then if that's the case, I would have that conversation with her as soon as possible and just be upfront. And again, that might not go well, but
I think put it out there and be like, I would be willing to do this. I like you. You can be honest with her. I like you. I see us, going in a different direction. I would like to just see what our relationship would be like if it was just you and me. And it doesn't have to be, don't be like forever or else, but just maybe broach the subject like that. And if it's a positive thing you're saying. You're saying, look, I like you enough to not want to delete the Tinder app off my phone, basically, which to me is, I guess in this day and age, is tantamount to fucking marrying someone. So I think you have that conversation and just understand that that's going to be hard for her to hear because she's probably comfortable with where she's at. Give her a little space, give her a little time, and then see what's going on with it. But you do need to, at a certain point, it's going to start wearing on you that she's banging these other guys and you want her to be monogamous with you. So you might have to, in the back of your mind, be willing to potentially walk away from this and find something else. And you're a young guy, so that's a possibility.
Honestly, it's less about banging other guys, and it's more about a lot of this has been built off our mutual friend groups. So we both know people that, like, we both know who it is because we were previously friends with them, and those two friend groups have kind of clashed at this point. That's what I'm worried about. Once I say
how give me an age bracket here. How old are we talking with everything?
I'm 20, she's 21.
Oh, you guys are real young.
Yeah.
So that changes it a little bit in regards to, like, I don't think it's a bad idea to have a committed relationship when you're that young, but I understand where she's coming from. Like, it gets, just to let you know, as you get closer to your 30s, people get a little bit more willing to commit because they've had that 10 to 12 year span of sleeping around and partying and sowing their wild oats. So I don't think that's necessarily a bad thing. But just understand that she's probably in a part of her life where she doesn't want to be tied down, and you have to respect that. But at the same time, you have to be honest with this person and get what you want.
Yeah.
But I think that having the conversation right now of, like, being like, hey, I'm interested in this. Are you interested in also being monogamous? I think that would go a long way.
it's a step in the right direction. It could ruin a lot of things, but I feel like it's going to be worth the gamble because.
And the other thing is this, though. If she's throwing it back in your face that you're also sleeping with other people, that might be a clear sign that she's not ready for this.
Yes.
Because that's her saying, well, you're doing, like, when you accuse someone else of doing something, more often than not, it's because you feel guilty about doing that thing in that relationship, and you're just putting that off on the other person. So just understand. I mean, you guys are very young as well, and I never advocate having really serious committed relationships in your early 20s for this very same reason, where you need to be getting out there, playing the field, doing what you want to do with your career, and building yourself up before you really commit to this stuff. And for God's sake, use condoms.
Yes.
Sorry if I haven't said that already.
Yeah.
All right. Good luck, man. We appreciate you.
Yes.
And make sure you eat ass.
Hashtag Greg Soak.
Yeah, exactly. Exactly.
All right, man.
This guy gets
Talk
it.
to you later.
He
Thank
gets
you.
it.
Later.
There you go. Make sure you gotta hit the speaker button. There you go.
Why is the gaff not working all of a sudden?
It's hot. It's nasty. It looks like a little.
It's nasty.
It looks like one of those big clits that you see sometimes.
No.
You know, with the bodybuilder girls
I don't
in
like
the porn.
it. I don't like it, Nick.
We're getting in there, man. We're
I
gonna talk about it.
like that you're there. You know what I mean?
I'm fucking
That's
right
what we
here,
do
bro.
here after dark.
This is good.
It's 8:30 p.m. Pacific on a Friday, and you and I are here. We've talked for years about, like, what this could look like. Tim and Nick doing the morning show at night.
Yeah.
You know what I
Just
mean?
giving people terrible love advice.
I love looking at the chat and seeing Joey being like, Jesus.
Yeah.
All right, here
Well,
we go.
this is where we're at.
Here we go.
Can you just hit speaker?
Hello?
Hey, what's going on? This is Hunter calling from Ohio.
Hunter, what's
from
going on? Hunter,
Ohio.
you got good energy right
Yeah,
now.
I'm liking this.
And this scares me because everyone that has really good energy is like, all right, so, and it's just an intense question. So what
Oh,
can
no, we got something to ask you. This is it's like a cleanup crew kind of question. You know what I'm saying?
Okay, first off, who's the we?
Well, just me.
Okay,
Just
cool.
me.
Okay, good. You just said the royal we.
It's just
Got
me.
it. The world has a
We're
question for
speaking
you.
in third person, but it's just how it's going. It's 11:30 over here in Cincinnati right now.
Okay, fuck yeah, man. What's going on? What's your question?
So the question is this. All right. So recently got out of a relationship, a long relationship, you know, and it was a little rocky at the ending. But when you're dating somebody, and we're just gonna get real honest, you have toys, right? You got some fun stuff to add in the bedroom.
You cannot reuse them.
I have no use for them.
Yeah, throw them out.
Because most of them are for pleasuring her. What do I do with them?
Most of
Do I
them.
give them
I have
back
follow-up
to her? Do I
questions.
toss them? What do I do?
I would throw them out, and here's why. Because when you get, when you get a new woman in your bedroom, in a relationship, and you guys are getting hot and heavy, the last thing you want to do is open up a drawer and take out a used sex toy. That is not going to go well for her. And there's no amount of lying you can do to make her think you bought all those toys for her. Especially nowadays
No, bro, I
when
think
people
that's-
fuck on the
well,
first
that's
date.
like serial killer vibes. We don't want to do that. My thing was, it's just like, man, like carrying a big bag full of dildos out to the dumpster is an interesting image.
Okay.
What
Okay.
happened?
All right, hold on.
So I have something. Can I go first?
Go for it, Nick.
Back in the day, my friends and I, this was a long time ago in a galaxy far, far away, before internet porn,
Love it.
okay? We used to have a bag of VHS tapes that we all contributed to over the years. And when anyone would move into a new place, especially if they moved in with a girl, we would help them move and we would sneak the bag underneath their bed and not tell them. So I'm just saying, if you have a friend that's moving, sneak a bag of dildos underneath his bed and let him find it on his own time and see what happens.
So something in a
God.
similar vein, something that Nick and I always wanted to do to our friend Sean Finnegan was we wanted to get a dildo and wrap it in aluminum foil
Yeah.
and then put it in his bag so that when we went on a trip at the airport, it would go through the thing. And
Or
people would be
just
like,
not
"What
even
the
put
fuck
it
is
in
that?"
aluminum foil, just put it in the bag and just see if
Just see what happens. Just
Like
see what
I want one of those
happens.
big ones, like the kind you see where it's like that's gonna kill this person
Yeah.
when you use
Oh,
it
yeah.
on them.
Yeah.
That's
So
what
Hunter,
thinking
I'm
of.
really interested in a lot of this. Now, Nick, I appreciate your angle because you jumped at it from a level that was maybe 3 steps ahead of me. Because I was still at the step of the.
He basically went with being like, instead of doing elf on a shelf, it's dildo in a bag.
Yeah, exactly. That's what it was. Because I was looking at it from the sanitization standpoint. I was like looking at the hygiene of like, can you clean it to use it somewhere else? Like,
Nick,
I don't know about that.
I mean, you can. A
but
lot of them are
again,
dishwasher
here's
safe.
That is true. But Nick, you really got to the end of this. You got to the nut of the situation.
I reached
here.
the end of the tunnel.
Yeah,
So to
where
speak.
it's like,
Funny.
oh shit, it's
Sure.
not about that. It's about the fact that there's no situation you can explain that you just have these things.
Yeah.
Unless
Yeah, like
you know.
that's the thing. What the fuck kind of story am I gonna pull out and just be like, you know what? Just figured you'd be into this. Went in the hustler store by myself because that's not weird.
Yeah. I mean, there is a certain type of serial killer that would do that, but I don't think you want to put off that vibe.
No, Hunter, you
For
don't.
me, it was just one of those things where I'm like, I don't really want to call up the ex and just be like, I'm surprised she hasn't made that call. That's another weird.
I mean,
you
there's
left me with it.
depending on how good of terms or how good a sense of humor she has, there's always the old send a present to her work. You know?
Oh my God.
Give her a nice big box with a nice card that says from your dad, and then she opens it up and it says JK. I mean, if you could spring load a hand that has a dildo in it, like the 1989 Batman with some dead flowers and a dildo,
where your head's at.
that might be good. But just
We've
know
given
that's
a lot
probably
of
the end of the
advice this episode.
relationship.
That was the first advice that I don't stand by. Yeah. but Hunter, I do have some questions for you if you can allow us to turn the page because I feel like we've answered your question. Is that okay?
Oh yeah, you've more than answered it. I would love pick the brain, man. I love it.
Okay. So how many sex toys are we talking?
Oh, it's nothing crazy. I don't have a museum. You know what I mean? It's like we got like a vibrator, we got a dildo, and then we got some cheap shit. Because whenever you buy the good shit, they give you like the goodie bags of like stuff you don't want, and that's just sitting in the bottom of the
Sure.
bag.
Okay.
Oh.
And earlier you said most of the sex toys are for her.
Yeah, none of them are for me. Like
what-
none of them are something I would use. Like you know what I mean?
You don't have any like cock rings or any like anything like that, like handcuffs that she uses on you?
Dude, I'm not a cock ring guy. There's a cock ring in there, but I'm just not a cock ring.
Maybe keep that one, bro. Lube it up and throw it on tonight. See how you feel.
Little J.O. sesh with the ring, maybe.
Yeah, throw it on, man. Get to know yourself.
Obsessed with the ring.
I will say this also. Good on you for doing that. A lot of guys would be like, there's a lot of weird guys that are threatened by sex toys. And my thing has always been this: if you're gonna get into a fight, you know what I mean? If you're gonna get into a fight and it's 1-on-1, don't you want an edge to win? Don't you want to use like some brass knuckles or a club or like a big fat fucking dildo and just be like, oh, I'm gonna fuck this guy up with this dildo? All I'm saying is
I get the
guys
point
out
that
there,
you're making.
a little help never hurts.
Yeah.
especially when it comes to
yeah.
your significant other's sexual pleasure. Whatever gets the job done. You think
Whatever gets
you think
the
your
job
mechanic's
done.
out there fixing your Porsche, and he's like, I only have one tool for this. No, he's got like hydraulic lifts and the guns that go, grrr, grrr, you know those things, the air guns.
He
He's got all that
does.
shit.
And Hunter, now you have all
Just
of
made a
it.
lot.
Yeah, but Hunter, again, I want you. I'm mostly kidding, but do give a little bit of thought to maybe sending that as a gift to her place of work and or her sister if she's hot.
No, don't do that.
No?
Don't do that.
Okay. All right.
Thank you, Hunter.
I mean,
This has been
exactly.
absolutely fantastic.
We're gonna figure it out.
All right.
I'll keep you guys updated on this.
Yeah, keep us updated on Twitter. Won't that be fun? All right, thanks, Hunter.
Thank you guys so much. Love the new show. Have a great rest of your night over in SF.
You
Love
too,
you,
man.
man. Good night.
Bye.
Have a good.
I hung up on him. Sorry. I always
was
hate
good.
that. I always hate that in like radio shows where they accidentally hang up on the guy, but you
Yeah.
never know.
Yeah. Well, they're watching that.
I didn't mean to do that, Hunter.
Oh my God, people are ready.
O'Reilly Auto Sports. You're on with Nick and Tim. Who are you, and what's your question?
Fuck up, Nick and Tim.
What's going on, buddy?
Colby, aka Secord Jester. I'm gonna give a quick shout out to the Discord.
What's up, Discord? Shout out to the Discord. It was Colby. Was your first name?
Colby, yeah, like the cheese.
Like Colby Smulders? Hot.
Oh, sure. Yeah, I guess.
You went cheese. I went.
Smolders.
You're an old man. I'll allow it.
How dare you? Colby
Wow.
Smulders is gorgeous.
Wow.
Nick, hang up the phone.
Yeah, you're close. Not really though, because I'm too tired to raise my other arm. What's going on, man? What's your question?
So, I've been on the Hinge, on the Tinders, on the Bumbles, on all those dating apps. Recently, been talking to somebody on a couple different things, trying to like meet up. So I just moved down to Florida, and I'm living in
Hi, man.
Orlando at the moment.
Okay.
And then
No,
she's
Orlando's
over
nice.
in Tampa. So we're trying to find this weird thing. It's about an hour and a half drive, just a little bit over.
Drive to
We're
Tampa,
trying to
babe.
find this time to meet up, to find a time to hang out.
To put
and
it together?
everything. But it's been like just about a month, and we haven't had like a moment to kind of like finally get to meet up or like go to Disney or something because we're in Orlando. So.
Are you looking to date this person? All right, Kevin, you got to stop with the transitions. They're weird. They're weirding me out.
I love it. I love
Don't, they're like tripping me out.
Chat's lovely.
Are you trying to date this person, or are you trying to just bang it out?
I mean, yeah, like it's been about a month, so we've been getting to know each other. Like we've been texting, talking, calling, whatever you want to.
Whoa. Hold on. Okay.
For a bit.
So I have some other questions here too. So you mentioned a bunch of things: Hinge, Bumble, Tinder. Are you talking to her across? Did you match on multiple apps?
No, we matched on Hinge.
Okay. Hinge. Just gonna say it. Hinge is the way to go right now. The Tinders, the Bumbles.
Is Hinge
they're
the one
all
where
new.
it's on to her to hit you up first?
No, that's Bumble.
No, that's Bumble.
But Hinge is the thing that I feel has the highest success rate from
Which
my
one?
friend.
Which
groups
one's
of
the one where
people
you
that I
just do
know.
lunch?
Coffee and a bagel.
Is that what it's called?
Yeah.
Sweet. I didn't know there was one. I was
I don't know
joking.
what
Oh yeah.
There used to be one called just lunch.
Uh-huh.
Doesn't matter. Go ahead.
So Hinge is the way to go here. But so you mentioned a lot of forms of communication there. You're talking about some texting. You're talking about some messaging. But you mentioned phone calls.
Snapchat. Not phone calls, but like the Snapchat FaceTime, I guess they would call it, like the video chat.
Pretty close to mom.
Okay, but so if you're doing that video chat, are you talking about like messages back and forth, like little quick like hits, or is it like a back and forth kind of conversation?
So it's when you bring up you can do like a Snapchat live video. It's pretty much just a FaceTime. We have like a conversation for, I don't know, 10, 15 minutes at a time. But it's like I'm trying to get to that point of saying like, hey, let's set a time and like go to a place and meet up and hang out or go to Disney or like do something. How do I like get to that next step, or should I just ditch this and go on to the next girl? If I should say.
Nah, dude, I say go
That
make
make
a
sense?
date.
I mean, you got to have at least one date with this
Yeah.
human being. Pick a day and
Exactly.
tell her,
Like,
and
that's like, okay, go ahead.
it's be like, pick a date, but like, hey, what are you doing Saturday? I'm driving down to hang out with you. That's it. You don't have to go to Disneyland. You don't have to go to Disney World. Take her out for a semi-nice dinner and hang out and get to know this person IRL. And if it clicks, then you guys can talk a little bit more about it. This is a bit of a long-distance relationship, so it's going to be stressful. But I mean, and until you meet this person in person, you haven't really done the whole thing. Who knows? You might click. You might be like, "This is awesome," and then it might be something.
Yeah, I would say going off that because I totally agree. I feel like you need to give options, like have a plan for a date, like an actual day, and a plan of what you're gonna do. But give a couple options. Like, don't put it just on that, but read the room on the response. Like, give the room for them to be like, oh, hey, I can't do that, but I can do this or whatever. But if they are kind of like, oh, I don't think it's going to work, and I don't know if that's going to work, and I don't know if that's going to work, then they probably are not ready to meet up, and that is a clear sign that you should back off a little bit and maybe move on.
Okay. Yeah, because it's been so far. It's kind of been like, hey, let's do something this day, and he'd be like, oh, well, I can't really do like noon to 2 that day. I'm like, all right, well, there's still like 8 hours in the afternoon, evening that can meet up, and it's just like, oh, well, that kind of doesn't really work out. So it's kind of just been like a little gray area.
Yeah, well, that's the thing. If it's like, if she's saying like, oh, I'm busy from this time to this time, and you're like, well, okay, what about that time? She's like, oh, well, that too. I feel like that's where we're starting to get to the point where maybe I would say give it one more shot of give an entire weekend. Just be like, anytime, like this weekend, I can come to you, you can come to me, whatever it is you want. Like, give her the options, but have the one option that you're actually pushing. Don't put it on her to come up with a date and to come up with a plan.
I would say Saturday, but like, listen, I'm thinking about coming down Saturday. Let me know if that works for you. And she's like, listen, that doesn't work. Then be like, okay, cool. And then, I mean, that's it.
And at that point, you could just put it on her and just be like,
yeah, let me know. I mean, if you
like,
want
let me know if you want
I'd love
to
come
anytime.
But honestly, but take the initiative and say, I'll come to you, right? I think there's nothing wrong with that. I think there's nothing wrong with saying, I'm going to drive an hour and a half to come hang out with you. Put it out there. If she's like, no, I still want to punt it, then honestly, she's not worth your time. She's just wasting your time at that point.
Gotcha.
All right. Thanks for the question, man. Good luck with it.
Thanks, fellas.
Bye.
bye.
Now, Greg keeps texting me. Okay.
Yeah.
Just all sorts of stuff. Good messages, great things. I'm like, play your game. You know what I mean?
Play your game.
Just play
I'm
your
sure
game,
there's a
bro.
game you need to play.
Play your game. He hates not being here, and I love it. I see you, Greg. All right, you're on with Nick and Tim. If you're Greg, sorry for talking shit about you. What's going on?
So sorry to disappoint.
Oh, good. No, it's not disappointment. What's your name and what's your question?
We're in Georgia.
Okay. Well, I'm sorry. What was your name?
Adam,
Adam from Georgia. What's going on, man? What's happening in your life?
I'm going to try to keep this simple and at the risk of sounding lame. I recently went through kind of a rough breakup, and it was a long relationship, and that's kind of what I've always been known for. And I think it would be best for me to, work on myself, but, people have needs. So I'm wondering, like, what is your advice for keeping things casual as far as dating goes?
The age-old question. How do I just have sex with women without committing to them and making
No,
it okay?
I was trying not to say that.
No, yeah, I
Well, but
understand.
that shows the true intentions there.
Well, I mean, but okay, let's put it out there.
There's nothing wrong with that.
There's
either.
nothing wrong with having that need, and there's nothing wrong with wanting to
Open
have
about
a
it.
casual. Yeah, the big thing is being open about it and letting people know up front that you just got out of a long relationship. You're not looking for anything serious, and you are really just here to have fun and get to know people a little bit. Just understand that that's going to more often than not work. More often than not, people are going to, especially if you're a cool person, people are going to go, wow, we had fun. I'm going to get emotionally attached to you. It's difficult.
Right. And yeah, it's like just being like socially awkward. It's always like you find somebody and then it clicks and then it turns into something major. And it's like, I don't want to get like wrapped up in something right now because, I'm still relatively young. And I think it's something I would want to wait for after doing this so many times.
Well, how long was your last relationship?
2 years, and the one before that was 6.
Okay,
So, like,
that's a good stint.
couple years.
So
I would just say, listen,
are you
like-
on the apps at all?
No, I haven't really. Well, I had Tinder for a while, but I actually didn't know about Hinge, so I'm going to take your word for that.
It's so just to be clear, it's not necessarily my word, but it's the word of the people. It is the word that
The people
it
have
is
spoken.
working, and I know many couples that have
But he doesn't want a couple. so
blossomed from this, but also I've known many situations that are not couples that are the hookup side. The apps allow you to be straight up and be honest and communicate from the get. And that's something that I think is really important about them is you can make your profile to kind of explain what it is that you're looking for, and people can see that. And that's kind of an upfront olive branch, right? That you're kind of like putting out there of just like, I am not looking for a relationship. I am just looking for something casual. And there will be other people that are looking at that like, I am looking for that as well.
I think the more important aspect of this, taking the sex out of it, is that I'm very happy that you have recognized that you want to take a little time for yourself and kind of figure out who you are outside of these relationships. And I'm not saying that having long relationships is a bad thing, because I think I've seen the virtue of being with someone for a long time. It's a very, very wonderful thing. But if you're young and you want to focus on your career a little bit, I don't think there's anything wrong with that. It's just a matter. I think that's a very positive thing, and you should absolutely focus on that. And then as the relationships come to you, or as those encounters come to you, take them as they come. But definitely focusing on you is a good thing. What were we looking at?
Well, yeah, thank
The
you.
chat's just killing it right now, man. The chat's feeling you for sure. Blessing was just like, a man's got a nut. The
Yeah, I'm gonna
cuckubus
be, like,
here says,
known on
I'm
the
just trying to
internet.
see a titty, okay? Like,
That's awesome.
I get it.
Here's what I'll say though: don't turn to like strip clubs and stuff like that, because those are just empty experiences that are going to make you sad. So I would definitely look for real encounters with well, I'm not gonna say strippers aren't real women, but real
No,
encounters
it's
with
not- it's not-
women who aren't professionals.
To like put this in a different way, like, I agree with what you're saying, because it's like the strip clubs are fantastic, they're great things, not for what you're looking for though. And I feel like a lot of people are like, man, I'm just trying to look for hot girls that want to fuck. Well, that must be a strip club. That is not what they're trying to do.
No.
That is not
Trying to
what
get
that
paid.
that's
But
the
there's a-
service
but-
that's being offered there.
But there are lots of women out there that do just want to fuck. So you should be able to.
So
find
many
them.
of them.
Yeah. And again, I try not to think about it, because it's like, yeah, should I have been born 10 years later? Maybe. But I am where I'm at. If I was Tim's age,
Yeah.
would I be crushing it
Great
out there?
So,
Probably not. All right, man. Good luck with that. Thanks for the call.
thanks so much. Good luck. Have a good night, guys.
Thanks. You too. I waited a second
Yeah.
because I was
Proud
like,
of
is he
you,
going to say
proud
bye?
of
Is he going to say bye?
I love this. Bullhammer says, this content's keeping me sane while I fight this dumb frog in Star Wars.
Oh, Jesus.
Oh,
We all know
frog's
that
so
goddamn
dumb.
pain, man.
That frog with
Give
that
up,
fucking
come back when it's when you're strong.
big old fat fucking tongue.
Dude, the box in there also is not worth it.
Dude, I beat that shit like the second
Yeah,
time I
just
went back to that planet. No,
after-
actually, the first time I was on the planet, I beat it.
But didn't you say you were like there 30 minutes?
It
or
was
something
35
crazy?
minutes, yeah.
Yeah, it's 35 minutes.
Not only that, but I had to go run on the fucking wall for a while. Are we allowed to talk about Star Wars right now?
Yeah, it's out.
It's out. Yeah,
Fantastic.
people are playing now.
It's a good game.
But that's not what this is about.
This is about you and this caller. You're on with Nick and Tim. Love, sex, and stuff after dark. What's your name, and what can we help you with tonight?
Hey guys, Derek here, and girlfriend Riley. We were just wondering, what is the best background stuff for sex?
What is the best background stuff for sex?
Well, okay, so we got our first couple calling in.
Oh.
Yeah.
Is that Riley?
Yeah.
Oh, hi, Riley.
Okay.
Hi, Derek.
Derek and Riley.
This is exciting. So what background stuff? So you talking about music? You talking about TV?
Anything. The offices, music.
Sade.
Yeah, that's good.
I was never a music guy.
That's the
I
problem.
never liked to. I didn't like anything else. Obviously, I get distracted very quickly.
Yeah.
And I love singing along with songs, but I also don't know the lyrics to the
That
songs.
would be the worst.
So could you imagine having sex with me and I'm like, take on me, take me on and
You guys
stuff.
are listening to Aha.
Ba, 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 you know what I mean?
Yeah.
I'm also very goofy in bed. So I tend to get distracted and make jokes a lot. So I don't know, man. Put a little ambient stuff like.
See, yeah, I feel like that's the right call. It needs to be kind of just ambient without drums. There can't be a beat to it, because
like
then
music
then
is
it turns into a 2004 club. You know what I mean? You're just in there and you're just thrust into the beat. Like the amount of times when I was growing up, when I was a young Tim Gettys, and I was first getting my fuck on
5 years ago.
and then it's like a lowercase fuck. You know what I mean? It's like I didn't really know what I was doing. Not
I
that
don't think I
do
ever
now.
had an uppercase fuck.
Yeah, I'm gonna work on that one day. But
Sure.
I was like, I need to find the ultimate like love playlist. You know what I mean? And you need to find that music. And back that was before Spotify, but like it was still easy to find like music to put on during sex.
Mm-hmm.
And like there was this one song, I forget who it was. Bob was like, I wanna love you. It's like I don't know who the hell it was.
Sure.
But you guys, someone out there knows what I'm talking about. And I could not stop thrusting to the beat of the dun dun.
Yeah.
And I would only wait to the next beat to do it.
I'm sure that's real fun.
It's not.
Yeah.
It's not for anybody. And I feel like music can be very distracting when it's that type of stuff. The only time that I feel like contemporary hip hop music should be played during sex is when you're trying to mask the sounds of your sex for others in the building.
Or when you're on the dance floor.
Having sex. Okay.
Here. I'm gonna.
EJ Sponge says, Tim, that is Keith Sweat. Yes,
Yes,
it
that was
is.
Keith Sweat.
Thank you.
Riley, what's your favorite kind of music? What's your favorite band?
okay, so like I like 21 Pilots, and
Okay.
I'm a big indie person.
Are any of those songs that you'd like to listen to while Derek's in the room, maybe a little naked?
I don't know.
Okay. So here's my other option for you guys. You can put on a show on Netflix that's so boring you won't be distracted by it. I recommend The Office.
Damn. I thought you were about to go Lord of the Rings.
Andy, if
but
you're
wow.
watching, oh, it's so funny and dry.
Gia likes to fuck to SVU.
Oh,
then again-
that's disgusting.
No,
Gia likes,
that is disturbing.
really disturbing.
Gia likes to do many things to SVU.
Yeah, he did. SVU, but I understand because it's sexually charged, but there's a lot of dirty. I get it, and I'll say this, man. When Ice-T and Stabler get on, I'm like, fuck these, like Mariska Hargitay, Stabler,
Oh,
Ice-T connection.
Stabler's her thing, man.
Oh, Stabler,
I
is it?
feel like-
Christopher Maloney.
Music or TV is only to mask that sound of sex. It never adds to it in my experience.
I like low lighting, quiet, hang time. We talk, we connect. Yeah, we hang out.
Oh, got it. Okay.
You do the naked
okay.
hangout like Naked Sundays. Just hang out.
Yeah.
And then if something goes in the other thing, that's great.
Yeah.
And if not, you get to see each other naked. And isn't that exciting?
It is exciting.
Yeah.
It always is exciting.
Just do me a favor. No Coldplay. This is a no Coldplay house.
It is definitely a no cold.
You see what I'm saying?
Yeah.
I had a buddy of mine that used to only fuck to Live. Remember the band Live?
No.
I thought you were gonna say live,
Live
music.
music.
Hey, there's a bluegrass festival on. I gotta get all my fucking in right
Gotta
now.
go.
All right, guys. I hope that was somewhat helpful, even though I have a feeling it was not.
Thank you.
All right, we love you guys.
All right, love you
Love
back.
you.
Thank you very much.
Oh, hold on. Hey.
Wait, hold on,
Stop.
hold on.
Dope says can't go wrong with The Weeknd. Honestly, if you're gonna fuck to music, you should fuck to The Weeknd. And
not- first
Lana
off-
Del
I'm not
Rey,
against that.
who put out like a
Oh,
collab
shit.
album together.
I think I hung up
And it's
on it.
real good.
I will say also, fuck to Post Malone. I fucked a little. Why not?
I don't know.
Come on, he's like, he's got that like low, dull drone that just makes me like, all right, it's wet.
Rock hard.
It just gets things wet.
God, you're so disturbing.
Post Malone is
I'm
the
gonna go
opposite
pee.
of a hairdryer. You're gonna go pee.
Yeah.
Okay, have fun. Ladies and gentlemen, oh, caller, you get me one-on-one. Let's see if it's Craig. You're on with just Nick, and it's love, sex, and stuff. What is your name? What is your problem? And how tall are you?
What is your problem? I feel like you can phrase that better, Nick.
Hello? Who's this? What's your name?
My name's Keenan.
Hey, Keenan, what's going on? You're talking to Nick. Tim just went to go to the bathroom because that's what professionals do halfway through shows. What can we help you with tonight, man? What's your question?
Hey, so I am going on a date tomorrow.
Okay.
Um,
Congrats. That's a good first step.
yeah, thanks. And I'm a little nervous.
Okay.
I've been talking to this girl for a couple days now, and I just don't want to mess anything up. I just need a little advice for like first date kind of thing.
Okay. What's the date right now? What's the plan for the date? Where
So
are we
we're
at?
just going out. We're getting some drinks.
Okay.
There's not really any other plan after that. Just kind of getting
Okay.
drinks, you know.
Okay. So it's a casual thing. You're like, hey, let's go grab a drink.
Yeah, it's pretty casual.
Do you know where you're getting drinks?
Yes, we're going to a local brewery.
Okay.
They
She
have
actually
food?
suggested it.
Do they have some food? Kevin's asking. In
I
case
don't
she gets a
know.
little
It
peckish?
Might escalate to dinner. We're kind of doing like an early evening kind of thing.
So like a happy hour drink thing?
A little bit, yeah.
Okay.
That's a good move.
So here's my first thing. I think good on the brewery if she likes that kind of thing. But my big concern with drinks for a first date is how loud is it going to be in there? If there's bumping music and tons of crowd noise, it might be difficult to talk to this person. So just be aware of that. And if you guys are having a good time, you might want to move it to a place that's a little quieter so you can actually talk. Dinner is a good idea. I would say have an option for dinner ahead of time because having a couple options of places you know you can go where you're not going to have to wait for 45 minutes to get a table is good. But you also don't want to be taking her to like an Applebee's.
Right. No, it's it's a more upscale brewery, so I'm not
Okay.
really worried about the noise. But I will take your advice into consideration about escalating that to dinner in case it gets a little too out of hand. You know what I mean?
And then I'll say just as just a matter of course, and this goes along for every first date, just be yourself. I know that's silly advice and everyone just thinks that. Go have fun. You don't have to front. You don't have to act like you're bigger and badder than you are. Just go have fun and let this person get to know you.
Yeah, no, that's really great.
Tim, any advice for a first date?
First date, you nailed it with the be yourself. Be very careful and aware of how your intentions are coming across. Don't ask them to come back to your house unless it's a sure thing that you guys are feeling each other and like there is a real chance at more intimacy, because there are implications that are implied there that I think can scare a lot of people and can leave a very bad taste in their mouth.
I've always been a strong advocate of not even worrying about sex on the first date. I'm not saying it can't happen.
Totally.
But I think if
No,
you're
and
interested in this
and
person-
that's not my intention.
Yeah, I don't think that even. I mean, I'm not saying it's not a good or bad idea, because let's be honest, we all been there, done that. What's up, Gia Tap Harris? That was a definite like non sequitur. I just wanted everyone to know that. That was a. I'm not saying anything happened. I'm just saying Gia's here. She's over there. That was a full stop. Period. Next paragraph. What's up, Gia?
Too close together.
What's up, Gia Tap Harris? But I honestly think that sex tends to complicate things. And if you're feeling that attraction, cool, good on you. Make sure you wear a condom and make sure everything's consensual. But at the same time, I think the fun of a first date is just going and being with someone and sharing your time with that person and getting to know that person in the least loud environment possible.
Totally. And to be clear, what I was saying is not that you should be trying to have sex. I'm saying that if you invite her back to your house, she's going to think that, even if you're not
I
trying
see
to
that.
do that.
See, I always used to do the thing where I'm like, when this granted, this is in San Francisco, but my move, Uncle Nicky's move, used to be like, they'd be like, what do you want to do? At the end of the night, the bar would close. What do you want to do? And I used to say this all the time. And it worked some of the time. I'd be like, I want you to take me home with you.
See, things like that, when you put it on them, that's totally cool. And that is the thing.
how you do it.
You can
That's
only
how you
pull
do it.
that out when you were thinking it
cool.
might go somewhere good.
Yeah.
Or
That-
when you're super drunk and you're like,
well, then there's that.
I can't
Yeah.
get home on my own because I live in San Mateo.
Space Mojo
JK, don't
says,
get that
are
drunk.
cafes too boring for a first date? Absolutely not. Honestly, you know what a really great first date's kind of a weird thing because it implies a lot.
Right.
Because first date can actually be like you've been talking to someone, texting a little bit. This is the first time that you're really kind of like getting to know each other on a real level. Or first date can just be the first time that you guys are hanging out ever.
Yeah.
And I feel like the latter of that is perfect for lunch. It's perfect for something that there's no kind of worry or stress about, like, fuck, what do we need to do after this? It's kind of, you have an in and out
See,
option.
I'm more of a fan of the dinner first date. You commit to it, you make a plan, you show them that you're willing to put a little bit of effort into the relationship right off the bat, and you pick a restaurant that you know you'll like, at least, so at least you're gonna have a good time, and that you hope she'll like as well, and you can talk over a table. I always like that. The bar is fun if
Bar's not it.
the brewery and the bar can be fun. I think that's totally fine. for
Brewery's
first date.
cool.
It's a brewery.
It's a brewery.
Brewery-
He's going to a
brewery-
high-end craft beer like brewery. I think that could
I
be a
think
really
that's a
fun,
fantastic
date,
call.
especially if you wear a lot of jorts. Very hipster. Good for you. But then eventually, second date, take her out to a decent restaurant. I'm not saying like 5-star French Laundry. I'm saying a decent restaurant. Sit down, talk to him. I'm not a fan of like going to super loud places or bars that are like the craft cocktail bars where it takes 45 minutes to get a cocktail. That's just too much shit.
And on top of that, it's like, even like, don't go to a fancy ass restaurant. Save that for when it's like, this is worth it. This is something really special, because you're not trying to sell them on how rich you are, unless you are
But also don't do Applebee's. Just don't do Applebee's.
eating good in the neighborhood.
Damn. Applebee's has Cobb salad. Hopefully some of this helped, man. And good luck with your first date. And remember, if it does progress to sexual intercourse, wear a condom. That's
Don't
it.
shit where you
That's
All
all.
right. Yeah, I appreciate it, guys. Love all your shit, and hope you guys have a good night.
All right, you too, bud.
too, man.
Thank you. Whenever I hang up a phone, I feel like we just got off a conference call and made a deal. Mm-hmm. But this was a deal for love. For love.
Mm-hmm.
Remember, ladies and gentlemen, this is Love, Sex, and Stuff After Dark. They don't all have to be love questions, by the way.
No, there's
we
the-
put
there's
the
a little
and
stuff
stuff
here.
there just in case you want general life advice. How do you put your shoes on? 1 foot at a time? Or like Greg, which I imagine he does upside down while watching Ghostbusters.
Should I change the thing that says looking for hot singles in your area? Call.
You can do whatever you want,
Yeah,
Big
go back
Cat.
to the first one for now.
Okay.
What was the first one?
Just
Do
the
we
phone
eat
number.
ass? Question mark. Call to find out.
Call to find out. We'll give you the yes and
No,
then
it just
hang
says
up.
call.
All right,
there
there
it
it is. Next question. I mean, this is working out surprisingly well. Okay, shout out to Kevin for this little device right here.
Yeah.
Stay on it. Get off.
Hit just the
Telephone.
speaker. Oh.
Does it work?
I don't know.
Caller, can you hear me?
I can. How's it going, guys?
Right on. Wow, that's way better. They just say Kevin just saved us a solid 5 minutes of hitting one button and then the other button. What is your name, and what can we help you with tonight?
All right. My name's Nick. I'm calling from Utah.
Nick calling from
you guys?
Utah. Sorry, continue. What's your question?
Hey, I was just wondering. So I'm married. I'm about Tim's age, and I have a couple kids, and I love video games.
Okay.
And I have a hard time, like, navigating how much video game time to family time kind of thing. How do you guys, like, handle having wives and fiancés for Tim?
Well,
and fitting in video games and everything.
we don't have kids, so that's a big one.
That is a big one.
And I have a lot of friends that do have
kids.
kids.
Are babies, though, so it's pretty easy so far.
That's fair. I mean, do you guys go to bed at the same time?
Yeah, I can stay up a little bit later than my wife, but she likes to go to bed at the same time, and that's like something that I like to do with her because like she gets a lot of enjoyment out of it.
I get that. Maybe if you can broach the subject and say, listen, sometimes it would be really nice if I could have some me time at night. So you can tuck her in, you can hang out with her while she starts to fall asleep a little bit, chat. It's a great time to connect, especially at night. And then you do the hug and roll. You hug. You roll over, right? And then you get to have a couple hours to yourself. Hopefully you have a space in your house that you can go to that's quiet enough that you can play games and not disturb the rest of the household. I have a friend of mine that
Headphones are great too.
Headphones are great as well. But you have to be careful of going like, fuck yeah, like yelling out, especially if you're playing multiplayer, like online games.
Yeah.
I have a friend of mine that turned his garage into his like office / gaming room. And so he doesn't disturb the rest of the house because they're like 2 floors up, which is great. But I think I don't think it's out of the realm of, or out of the question for you to have that conversation and say, not every night, but occasionally, daddy needs a little bit of me time to stay sane.
I don't think you should call it me time. I think it should be gaming time. Because, like, I feel like me time makes it, like, feel like you need to be
versus
separate.
I think if
Yeah.
you say gaming time,
Yeah.
that might have a negative connotation for people. If you say, I need this for me, and whatever I'm doing downstairs is none of your business, and if the door's locked, don't worry about the sound effects that are coming
Yeah,
out.
no, see, I kind of, I agree with both of you there, where it is about the communication here, where you do just need to talk to her and explain that this is important to you. But I do think that do not over explain what you're doing. Don't explain the details and the plot of the game that you're playing and all that stuff, but explain that you're interested in this game and that you want to play it for whatever reason it is, whether it's just like, explain that you're enjoying it.
Yeah, I mean, look, I think he's your age, so his wife understands that video games are a legit pastime for people. It would be the same as if you're going out to play poker with the guys or whatever, or go golfing. You just don't golf, you play video games, which is a lot cheaper, and you don't look as dorky when you do it. Sorry if you golf out there, but golf attire is fucking nerdy and dorky, and I will make fun of you, especially since the shoes are so bright. I'm like, how are you walking around grass and your shoes are so bright? Do you understand me? But honestly, I mean, and this is something that you really need to figure out, because you should have some time to yourself. It's a good time to recharge. It's a good time to bring that energy back to your family. Lord knows if I had 2 kids, I would want to probably see them. But if I didn't get some me time occasionally, I would honestly think about putting them in an Uber and just sending them down to San Jose, see how they work out. You know what I mean?
Yeah, there is that.
You know?
So something that I do with GL a lot, and it is a little bit different because it's video games are my job to a certain extent. But I kind of let her know going into it, like Jedi Fallen Order was coming out, and I knew that. I didn't know when I was going to get the code, but I knew that it was inevitable before the release date, which is today. And so for the last month or so, I kind of prepped her. I was just like, hey, like I'm going to have to play this game, but you can just change it to, I want to play this game. It's going to be coming out, and there might be a couple nights that I don't go to bed with you, but it's because I'm doing this. And once I'm done with that, it'll be back to going to bed until this next time. And then you can kind of like go from there.
So what you're saying is it comes down to communication, like always.
Always, man. Hey, it's not a joke. It's a way of life, and that's how you have a successful future.
And it's true. And honestly, there's sometimes where like Jedi Fallen Order, I wanted to play, right? But there was moments last weekend where my wife was like, this is the time we've allotted for hanging out. And I'm like, you're right. I'm
It is a two-way street there.
But I lucked out in that my wife goes to bed super early and I go to bed super late, and that just happens to be okay. Like, that's fine. You can make it that way. But please do me a favor. Don't neglect your children. because that's not good.
Yeah,
The truly hit.
Put it on the box.
There it is. All right, hopefully that was helpful, man. I appreciate you.
Yeah. Thanks, guys. Have a good
Yeah.
night.
Cheers. Bye. The truly hit the head.
Yeah?
The rest of the advice is going to be bonkers.
Hell yeah, baby.
Joey!
15 minutes to go.
Joey,
You want another?
bring me whatever goldfish we have.
Oh,
I need to lay down a carb
Whoa!
base. Can I lay down a carb base?
What do you want?
Hey, goldfish.
Goldfish.
This truly is intense. By the way, I stand by, and Joey, I know you know this too, but the Trulies are better than the White Claws.
Yeah.
Hands down.
I think that do a lot of.
Get on, man. Get on.
You want to talk about
I
it?
I think that the black cherry is significantly better,
Oh, it's so good.
but I don't like that the way the variety packs are assorted. So I think that White Claw is a better assortment.
Joey, we're going to have to table that discussion because people need our help. And just like Batman, the bat signal has gone up, and we're going to answer it. You're on with Nick and Tim, sir. What's your name, and what can we do you for tonight?
No way. This is Jester again. I got this from Blessing in the chat. He said, ask a question about nutting. I'm
Okay.
gonna ask, where's the best place to nut in the heat of the moment?
I mean, hey, you kind of answer your own question there, but it's in the heat of the moment. Like that, it depends where you are. What orifice are you entertaining?
I don't know the best place to nut, but I do know the worst place to nut. Into eyeballs.
Oh my god.
That's bad.
Bust a nut inside your eye to show you where I come from.
Exactly. Like Tim's eyes have been red for a real long time, and I only can assume it's because he keeps blowing loads in the left eye.
No, it's because I fucking want to wear my contacts again, okay?
Just be blind, man. What the
No,
fuck? Who
I
cares?
can't. I'm too
Who
blind.
gives a shit?
You have glasses, Tim.
No, that is the right call though. Is the eyes are the wrong
Ocular
answer.
cavities
No
are
one has
bad.
ever liked that.
Mouths are fine. Vaginas are fine. Two holes are
They're more
fine.
than fine. I would argue they're amazing.
The best place to do it is where the other person wants it done. You know what I mean?
Oh, that's
Yes.
true.
Yeah.
If your significant other is like, I want you to blow on my lower back, and because I got that tramp stamp for a reason, then that's fine. Then that's the target. And we put it on there. I will say though, I will say the vagina can be hazardous because when you blow in there, something might come out 9 months later.
Might be little and green.
Might be a little you coming out 9 months later. Joey just walked in and went like this. I don't know. And I'm talking about childbirth.
No, there's no goldfish.
Damn it, Andy.
There's no goldfish.
There's no goldfish?
A lot of issues going on right now.
Son of a bitch. And also, here's what I'll say to Blessing out there. Hey, Blessing, man up and call us yourself. Okay? Why you got to
Yeah.
have your friend do your dirty work.
It's-
If you don't know where to nut,
Wow.
Blessing, you call Uncle Nicky on his cell phone. He'll tell you later.
Jesus
Okay.
Christ.
Is it a lot, Joey? Is it a lot? Is it a lot? Okay. That last one was like, are we committing a crime? All right. Thank you so much for your question. We appreciate you. Enjoy. Here's what I'll say, though, also. One last thing. Parting wisdom. Don't nut in a sock. I don't understand why people do that shit. That's weird.
That's a TV thing. People.
Easy cleanup.
I mean, nut on, if you're going to do that, just blow load. That's what your belly button's for. It's a reservoir. All right. Be safe.
Belly button soup.
Have fun out there.
See you, Nick.
Bye. The amount of times I've seen capital Nick in the chat makes me think we're doing a real good show here.
Yeah.
A lot of capital
This
U's.
is some of the best content we've made in a really
Greg
long time.
really, really likes it. I'm having a great time.
And
Kevin, you
honestly,
crushed it with this setup.
I feel like we've been making really good content for the last like several months.
In review is great.
Guys,
What's up? What?
Kev,
What?
give me the one.
Kevin, can you please give Tim the one?
I'm a sock nutter.
No. You're
No,
not. You're not a sock
No,
nutter.
you're not.
Why? How did that get started?
He's lying. He's doing it for
Not lying.
attention.
No. I have socks specifically for nutting.
Oh,
Okay,
God,
hold on 1 second.
yeah.
I'm going to answer this.
It's true.
Okay, caller, what's your name?
Hi, this is Chris from New York.
Hey, Chris, hold on 1 second because Tim just told me he's a sock nutter, and I want you to hear his rationale for why he decides to blow load in his, what I can only imagine are gym socks. What are you
No,
wearing?
no, no.
Tighty whities?
What?
The white
they're
socks?
not, they're different socks.
You have like super loose socks.
You have
I'm
a sock
assuming.
just to nut in?
Mhm. Not just one sock, sets of socks.
What do you
That's
do? You
so
open,
Nut a lot.
do you have a whole closet in your place where you open it up? A top shelf is Jordans, the bottom shelf is sock nuts.
Are they like really silky soft socks?
They're soft, yeah.
So is Gia a part of this sock nutting, or is this when she's
No,
gone? She's out of
This is
town?
when she's out, like gone.
All right, I'm not going to judge you, but just know that that's freaky deaky.
Mm-hmm.
What's your question, man? What can we do you for?
Just a quick thing. I'm no expert, but I think
Neither are we.
it's too old to be using a sock.
Oh,
He's right.
you're 100% right on that. It's
You guys,
weird.
hey, don't knock it till you try it, man.
I'll try it tonight.
H&M.
Do you put the
small
sock?
socks?
Do you put the sock in a couch?
Ew.
Like, do you put the sock in a couch cushion and then put all your weight on the cushion? Like, what is?
No, but damn, that's
Yeah.
so like a,
What do you do?
What the fuck, Nick? What do you do? with
I
the
just
couch
like, how do you?
cushions?
What is? I don't know. Whatever I want to do.
Alright.
My wife goes to bed early.
I like the friction.
All right, let's hear his question and
All
stop
right,
hearing
all right.
Tim
So
coming.
before I ask my question, I don't know if Tim remembers me, but I did meet him at Forbidden Planet during his Smash Brother coverage.
Did you bring a sock with you?
Wait, Forbidden Planet.
Yeah, when you were in New York for Smash Brothers.
Oh, awesome. Yeah. What's up, dude?
Hey, no, man, not much. So my question is, I was in a relationship about 5 years ago. Had to end it because, she was of a different culture, and her parents they look badly on people of darker skin, I guess. But since then, like the previous caller, I actually been working on myself and kind of figuring things out and whatnot. Still a long journey, but I'm just curious, like for someone who's been out of the game for at least over 5 years, like how do you what do you suggest for someone to get back and being social? Not just like trying to get a girl or anything, but just trying to like approach people on a level where you're not intimidated or get social anxieties.
Hey, real talk. A great answer is the Kind of Funny Reddit. I feel like that's a really good place to start conversations and make some friendships there, where it's like they're people that you can kind of have daily conversations with. Like I look at the Reddit every day and I see people interacting with each other. Facebook's also good as well.
I was gonna say, don't go to the Facebook group because that's just where people finger each other.
That's a different group.
Oh, that's I'm on the wrong Facebook group.
Oh wow.
Sorry, I keep going to kind of fingering.
Got it.
Kind of
got it.
fingering.
No. But I feel like it all starts with what we always talk about with the best friend stuff, where it's like you need to be talking to people that have similar interests to you. That's kind of the easiest way to start the conversations. A perfect example right now is I feel like we're in kind of a. Are you a Star Wars fan?
Kind of nutty.
Oh yeah. I just finished watching Mandalorian episode 2, so.
Hell yeah. So that's the thing is like right now we're in such a great Star Wars moment. It's going to be awesome for you to be able to talk to people about this thing that you just enjoyed so much, right?
Yeah.
So I feel like that's kind of like a good place to, at the very least, practice being social. At the very most, gaining some like lifelong friends.
Yeah, and you just know that you're never out of the game. You're just taking a little break, right? You're just pumping the brakes on it a little bit. Don't put the expectation on yourself that you got to jump into the deep end all at once, right? Dip your toe in the water, make some friends, have some fun, and like Tim's saying, find people that have like interests and hang out with them. You know?
Yeah, I think you hit it on the nail where you're saying, like, not try to jump into the deep end.
Yeah.
I think I just put a lot of pressure on myself,
Dude.
and I'm trying to impress new people.
Nah, stop.
Yeah.
I'll tell you what, a good way to fail is to bite off more than you can chew in any endeavor. I'm not a big fan of that. I'm a big fan of setting a goal and taking slow, achievable gains toward that goal. And if your goal is to be a little bit more social, put yourself out there, try a little bit. You're gonna have to get into uncomfortable situations here and there because everything has a certain level of anxiety with it. I get social anxiety too sometimes. Everyone does that, right? But the more you put yourself out there, the easier it will get. I guarantee it.
Absolutely. And I feel like as kind of corny as this might sound, working on you is the best way for people to like you. When you like you, other people around you are going to be like, oh, like this guy's cool. I want to hang out with him.
I agree.
And I feel like the more effort and time that you put into yourself and really like liking yourself and understanding yourself, there's just an aura that comes from that really resonates with people.
Ant-Man 020, just put one sock in front of the other.
That's another way too, yeah.
All right. Thank you, guys. I really
man.
appreciate it.
Appreciate you. Good luck.
All right. Thank you. Bye.
I'm chewing a lot of M&Ms right now, and I'm happy about this, ladies and gentlemen. It's really a nice base for this Truly. Man, these things make me warm.
The peanut.
No, the Trulies. The
Oh,
peanut
yeah,
butter
oh,
is
yeah.
mellowing out.
Yeah.
we can
The
feel it.
seltzer waters, they warm
They
me up
come at
for
you, man.
sure.
They come at you pretty hard. Joey!
What are you asking for now?
Well, I have a half a Diet Coke in there with my name on it. I would like her to
Got
bring me.
it.
Joey, if you're hearing my words, please bring me the rest of the Diet Coke in the refrigerator. Joey, could you please bring me the rest of the Diet Coke in the refrigerator with maybe some ice in this bad boy and my venti? How are we doing so far?
You guys are great. Other than keep going.
What? No. What was it? Hold on.
Other than what?
Caller, hold on 1
Wow.
second, please. Hold on, Joey. Other than what?
He walked away.
What did we get wrong? Was it the socks? Tim fucking a sock?
Yeah, that's pretty wrong.
Or me making fun of the Facebook group?
Tim, stop fucking socks.
Guys,
Does Gia know about
live
this?
your life. I mean, she
Gia.
does not know.
Gia, come here, please.
Yeah.
Wait, someone's on the line.
Yeah, caller, hold on once. We're gonna get to you, and your call is very
On the
important.
line.
to me.
I'll take a hold. I'll hold.
I appreciate it. I appreciate you. Gia, are you aware that Tim has a sock fetish?
No.
Well,
Yeah, no, he does. Small.
wait a minute. Did you cut your hair? That's more important. It looks really good.
Thank you. I did.
That looks great.
Thank you.
I notice things like this.
Yeah, Tim does not.
I'm a very
Damn, wow. Throw Tim
engaging.
on the-
I'm a very engaging friend, and I'm a little drunk. All right, caller, what is your name and what is your question?
Hey, Nick and Tim out there. This is Craven Moorhead. Thank you so much for taking my phone call. I
Okay,
really
okay.
appreciate it. I got a great question for you guys. You know, as I'm Craven Moorhead,
Mm-hmm.
I need to know, are we getting sloppy with it? Or are we keeping clean on the head? I need to know a question.
Wait, is this Snowbike Mike?
It's 100% Snowbike Mike. Yeah,
Craven Moorhead.
I saw the caller ID pop up.
Sorry, whoa, I was distracted. What's your question?
Great, he hung up. You
Did he hang
still
up on me? You motherfucker! No, he's
No,
still there.
I'm still here.
What? Craven Moorhead. What was your question?
Craven Moorhead wants to talk doggy style with both of you.
Okay.
Yeah, okay.
Looking at doggy style, I need to know, are we up on the bed? Are we off the side of the bed? Are we using the banister, the stairs, the
okay.
bathroom?
Dude,
I
all
need
of
to
the
know.
above, bro.
So you're tap.
Style.
Thank you, Craven Moorhead. You're tapping into a little bit of a trigger for me because, as you know, I'm not a tall man, and sometimes doggy style has to involve me asking people to spread the legs a little bit more, and maybe having like a stepping stool. I would like to have that if anyone has one, so I can get up at the right angle.
See, I come at this from the different
Tall man's
perspective.
perspective?
What the tall man, short girl. Where
That's better for you. You can spread your legs a little
but
bit.
it's me though.
You have no
Yeah.
flexibility.
Yeah, it's
whatsoever.
not going too well.
I get that.
So I feel like to me, it's like the most common answer is the easy answer.
Eat
It's the always eat ass, but it's kind of the half doggy where it's the knees on the bed.
Oh, where she's on her side?
Yeah.
No. She's on her knees. I'm on my knees.
Oh, yeah.
That's
You
the
know?
that's the easiest.
That's the
solution.
best.
That's just the
Yeah.
the standard.
Because
Okay.
then, if you're me, you put your knees together so you get the maximum amount of height, and you ask her to get as like downward dog or like child's pose, or frog's pose, where it's
God.
way out, and that way you meet in the middle. Every good relationship's about meeting in the middle, ladies and
Oh
gentlemen,
man.
and that's what's gonna go. I'll say this, Craven Moorhead, while I've got you on the line, have you ever experimented with the? And I'm gonna wait for Joey to get out of earshot before I say this next thing. Have you ever experimented with the doggy to eat ass to dog eat?
Oh, that's a great one right there. You know, Nick, Craven Moorhead does it all. I'm wild like that.
I've heard that about you,
So
Craven
crazy.
Moorhead.
I was also going to throw out there, you guys, maybe a little tip of the thumb. You know what I mean? While we're getting it on the backside. we
Yes,
get a little tip
yes,
of the thumb
but
on it.
important safety tip: never thumb dry. That is a bad idea. Okay,
I get a little
Fucking cunt.
never thumb dry. You got to put a
I'm
little.
not a fan of the
so much
thumb.
for having me on the show. This was Craven Moorhead. So everybody out there in the chat, thank you all so much. I love you both.
Wait, Craven, where can they find you if they want to watch you on Twitch streams?
Oh, man, if you're watching twitch.tv/SnowbikeMike, maybe you can find me there. But it's Craven Moorhead. Always remember that. Craven Moorhead.
I'm a huge fan of that guy too. I hope to see you on his channel soon.
You guys are the greatest. Have a wonderful Friday night. Everybody have a
Craven.
great weekend out there.
Bye, Mike.
See, I'm not a thumb guy. I
was
feel like I
crazy.
don't have enough control over my thumb.
The
which
thumb is
sounds-
like okay.
sounds weird.
Do you know in the Mario Party games where you have to do this? Mm-hmm. Just think of it like that.
I don't know what that
I
means.
don't get it.
I don't know when remember what
No,
game
I
used
remember
to
it was Mario
There used to be
Party.
a game where you'd have to do this
Mario Party.
and people would take their hand off like a joystick and go like this.
Yeah.
So yeah, you just do
But
a
that's
little
not
bit
your
of that.
thumb. That's your palm.
You put it in there as like not as like a hold move, but as I'm working the
So-
joystick.
So it's
tickle
how
the
you're
edge.
supposed to play Mario Party, not how people did.
No,
Because
no,
I
no.
feel like
I get what
hey,
he's saying.
Kevin, the way people did play Mario Party is really useful.
Caller, hold on 1 second.
Friction.
Friction's good, but friction with lubrication equals happiness.
Oh, absolutely. But I feel like the use of the palm is important.
Don't use the palm. I would say you just say a little tip of the thumb.
Dude. Palm it.
Little tip of the thumb.
No one exactly knows where it is. If you palm it,
You're just looking.
always
You're
hit
just
it.
listen. Let's put it this way. You're just looking for the gopher. You see what I'm saying?
Honestly, I'm not 100% sure what you guys are talking about.
You're just trying to make. It's Groundhog's Day.
Where is the thumb going?
Did the
Who
gopher?
is the thumb going in?
Okay,
I don't understand.
You're right. You're right. The thumb was in reference to the butthole. The palm was in reference to other things.
Okay, let me back up. Caller, I apologize. Hold on 1 second, please.
No problem.
I'm not sticking a thumb in it. I'm just
I now understand what you're saying.
enjoying the circumference of it.
Got it.
As
He's
a little
rimming it.
added amuse bouche, as they
Like
say
a
in
marble,
dining.
like
I
a marble
understand.
going into a funnel. You know, just
Yes, but it never goes into it. It just skates
Right.
around it.
there's a magnet on the bottom.
Exactly.
The perennial.
Exactly.
No,
and not all the
no,
time,
the
just a
perineum
little.
is further down.
Not perineum.
What you
perineal.
do is you're there.
It's the perimeter of the anal.
Perianal.
Perianal.
Also Perry Mason. Great show. All right, let's get to the caller. Caller, what is your name and what can Tim and more importantly I do for you?
My name is Bob.
That's a made up name, but
And-
it's okay. I appreciate it. You had 15 minutes for me to talk about
know,
thumbing
right?
butthole to come up with a better name than Bob, but it's okay. Bob, what's your question?
I just have a question. I guess more of like advice. I guess I'm looking for. So
Sure.
I kind of struggle with identifying when somebody is flirting with me. Like I was talking to this girl I liked the other day, and like she like sent me her like BDSM results test thing that like online personality test.
Yeah.
And I sent mine back, and I obviously missed the fact that this girl was flirting with me. I also want to say that Jeffrey Epstein did not kill himself.
Yeah, that's okay. Thank you. That's the first one of those tonight, and I appreciate that. First of many, I hope, because I'm with you on that one. I think that's a pretty clear-cut sign that she's engaging in some level of flirtatious activity with you. And I think that to be a little overly cautious is not necessarily a bad thing.
It's a good thing.
I think it's a good thing. So your instincts are in a good place. Do you work with this person? Damn it.
Damn, we lost that call.
We lost that call.
Dude, his real name was Bob, and he was real pissed.
He
we
was
didn't
like,
like
God damn
it.
it. I'll say, if you work with a person, obviously, Bob, if you're watching, don't do it. Oh, maybe it's him again.
No,
Hold
it's
on.
not Bob.
It's not Bob again.
We love you,
Bob, is that you?
Yeah.
No, it isn't. That's someone else.
All right. Wally, is that you?
Yeah.
Okay.
Hey, Nick. I
Hey,
hate
Wally.
him.
What's going on?
He sucks. Everybody sucks.
What did you say about Mother Teresa? He's laughing so hard right now. It's silent.
I think he hung up.
No, it's still there. Wally. All right.
Why did you think that kid was working with this person?
I'm just asking
Oh, I
because
see, okay.
I'm just saying flirtation in the office
Yeah.
generally a good thing
But
to avoid.
I think that a BDSM thing, unless it was posted on social media and like it's something this person is posting everywhere, I think that is kind
That's a
of
pretty clear cut
No,
sign.
see,
This person's
I
like,
entirely disagree. I think that things now are like that type of conversation is so commonplace that I feel that to assume that is flirting is making a bad call that might really burn you.
we'll never know. Hey, caller, what's your name and what's your question?
My name is Harry.
Okay, I believe
Harry,
that.
what?
So I'm a college student.
Okay, he's not down.
Can you guys hear me?
Yeah,
Yeah.
go for it, Harry.
Okay.
Tim was trying to make a joke, but fuck him.
Houston, Texas.
Anyway, there's this girl. She sits in front of me, and I can't tell if she's flirting with me or not. And I don't know if I should ask her out because then it's gonna be awkward. She says no.
What is she doing
Wait, what?
that you think is flirting?
He high school or college?
Well,
He's in
I
college.
mean, she always goes up and talks to me, and like everything I say, she laughs. Kind of gets touchy.
Okay,
she gets
so
touchy.
the touchy, all the other stuff you said, not flirting. The touchy, what type of touchy we talking?
Touching the arm? Little arm touch?
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
Yeah, I would say that's probably a pretty clear sign she's flirting with you. You're also in college, which is not necessarily the worst place to engage in asking someone out, because I think that's pretty commonplace. So I think you'd be within your realm of saying like, hey, maybe we should go out and have a beer or something like that. you don't have to go crazy with it. Don't do a 4-course meal, but be like, hey, if you wanted to be like, what are you doing later? Some friends and I may be getting together. You want to come out for a beer? And then you have to call all your friends and say, you all have to come out right now. You immediately have to come out.
Here's the thing. I will say that I feel like college is very similar to the workplace, where the number one rule, it's not about like, oh, I can't ask a girl out that I'm working with, or I can't ask a girl out that I'm in class with. It's more, imagine being in her position where, what if she doesn't want to say yes? What if she doesn't want to do it? Whatever you're asking, the way that you're asking, are you putting her in a position that she's not going to want to come to class tomorrow because there's 30 people in this class? She knows she sits in front of you, and she's going to have to be put in this awkward position.
I imagine
that's what you don't want to do.
I imagine it's one of those lecture halls that's tiered, and then they have the big board at the front.
You don't have to imagine. You can just ask.
I like to use my mind's eye. How big is this class?
Oh, it's like 20 people.
Okay.
So then, yeah. I feel you got to be very very delicate about
Here's what I would do. Maybe, I was kidding before, but now I think my advice is sound. Maybe if you're going to get beers or a drink or coffee, that might be a good place to start. Like, hey, what are you doing after class? You want to grab a cup of coffee or something? That way it's you guys can change the setting and you can see one-on-one what the vibe is. But just if it's not there, you got to be cool with that. That's the one thing that people have problem with. You can't be the guy that asked her out and then she says no and then you get pissed at her for that. That's a no-go.
Yeah.
That's a no-fly zone. Ask her out, casual date.
Sorry.
Go ahead. What were you going to say?
I was going to do it like on the last day of class because we only have like 2 weeks left anyway.
Okay. Sure.
So, if it goes wrong, then, nothing has to be awkward, just go on with the day.
Yeah,
I think that's a good idea.
She might be heading back home for like summer break or whatever, or winter break.
Yeah, I
say do it now.
If you're that close to the end, it gets a little complicated there. I will say that we're in a very amazing time right now. Disney Plus just launched.
Yeah.
There used to be a thing called
How are you tying this in?
Called Netflix and Chill. All right.
We made it.
See, we've already talked about Mandalorian, so we're good.
Okay. Oh shit. I mean, this is a keeper.
Oh, all right. That's what I'm saying.
Stop fucking around and ask her out.
So, dude, here's the thing. It's not just like Netflix and Chill has such a
sexual connotation.
Not negative, sexual connotation.
Meant, yeah.
But Disney Plus has such a childlike wonder to it. But more than that, there's the connection.
You're overthinking it.
No,
just have her get a cup of coffee with you after
no,
class.
no. Seriously, dude, we're talking about modern times here.
Well, you want her to go to your house and watch Disney Plus with you? Dude, and that's not going to be creepy?
The Mandalorian episode 3.
It's not about Mandalorian. If I'm talking DComs, baby. Find out what Disney Channel original movie. Just start talking about it.
That involves going to someone's house.
You're in college though. It's probably is it a
like
dorm?
Yeah. Is there a dorm room you guys could get naked in?
No, too far.
I mean, I'm sure there is. I mean, I have an apartment.
See, that's what I'm saying. I think it's putting too much pressure on it. I would say wait till it feels right. This person clearly is a friend of yours. Toward the end of the semester is not a bad idea, or quarter, whatever you guys are in.
But they're there now. Like they're 2 weeks away.
Yeah, but if
they hit it off and then immediately have to take a month off because they're moving back home.
Dude, I'm telling you right now, you give the option. You go, yo, do you want to you want to grab a beer? You want to watch some Xenon?
No, but watching something is not how you connect with them. That's you guys sedetarily
Nick,
watching
you're
a TV.
You're missing the point. You don't get.
He doesn't
it's
want
not
to have
watching.
He wants to date her.
I know, but that's how you get to.
We're not trying to Netflix and Chill. Is it Disney and Finger?
No, you're taking it the wrong way. It's about the connection. It's the same thing as the best friends thing. It's like, oh, we both have memories of this. We both connect to this. Let's talk about it. Next thing you know, they're not watching the movie. The movie's going to be on. They're going to be talking.
This is unprecedented, by the way. Tim and I have never disagreed on something. In the 18 seasons we did of Love and Sex Stuff, 4 of which you guys watched. The last one, none of them watched.
Yeah, it's true.
I would say feel it out. I think you're within the possibility. I think this is not necessarily. What the fuck am I talking about? I think you should ask her out. I think you should ask her out on something that's casual. And remember, if she says no, then just be cool with it.
How old are you?
He's in college.
23.
Yeah.
I'm telling you, man, Disney Plus is the way to go.
Dude, I swear to God. I'll say this, though. If the Mighty Ducks gets you laid, I want to know on Twitter. That's what I want to know.
It's not the Mighty Ducks.
What if it's Halloween Town?
If Descendants 3 gets you laid.
Jesus Christ. If you fucked Lilo and Stitch, Daddy wants to know.
Jesus
How about
Christ.
that? I hope we've helped.
I
think for once we did not reach a consensus, but I apologize. But I think you got some good options.
You got options.
No, you gave me some options, man.
All right, man. Well, be bold. Good
Make
luck.
a move.
And be cool. If she says no, be cool.
Not a creepy one.
All right, I can do that.
All right, man. Good luck.
Bye.
Elderberry says, "Is there a love, sex, and stuff? You're wrong yet."
It's all subjective. Unless you're talking about fucking to Disney Plus, in which case, good on you.
It's not fucking. It's about the talking.
The Mandalorian moan again.
The Mandalorian moan?
The Mandalorian and moan.
Oh, okay.
No, man, I'm telling you, Disney Plus is not how you're gonna get your fuck on. It's how you're gonna get to know someone.
I appreciate that. I've always just thought, like, for a first date with someone, you should just sit across the table and get to know them. That's my thing.
I just
But they've
think
been
this
hanging
is
out
the-
all semester. too.
Yeah.
In
That's
class.
it.
In
Yeah.
class, they've been hanging
Yeah.
out. And unless the class is French New Wave, who knows?
Just hit the speaker. There it is.
Hello,
Hello.
and welcome to Love, Sex,
Hello.
and Stuff. What can we do you for? What's your name, and what's your question?
Nick Scarpino, it's Steve Saylor calling. How are you?
Good,
D.
how are you?
Miller?
Steve
Hey,
C.
I have a question for you. What is both of yours craziest strip club story?
Craziest strip club story.
I told my story 2 or 3 months ago. It was in July, the end of July, on the Kind of Funny podcast. It involved a diamond in the rough. So you should go check that out.
I got one. Not my story per se, but I was involved in the sidelines in this one. My buddy went for a lap dance and paid with a credit card.
Oh no.
Got his credit card stolen. The Las Vegas Police Department called him and said, "Hey, are you by chance in this specific motel? And did you just order like 15 Little Caesars pizzas?" And he's like, "No, I did not do that." And he goes, and the cop was like, "Okay, that's what we figured, because we figured someone stole your credit card, and they're in the hotel room banging Johns, like they're hookers, and they're banging like clients, and they keep ordering pizzas to feed the clients as they're coming in."
That's so nice of them.
That's what I thought. I was like, "Oh, that's lovely to think about that."
I love it.
But
I love
they
it.
charged like $2,000 worth of Little Caesars pizzas on his credit card.
That's amazing.
And I was like, if that would happen to me, I would have lost my shit. But the fact that it happened to someone else,
And
I
it
was
was
like,
Little
I will
Caesars.
never fucking let you live this down. God, strip clubs are terrible places. Don't go. Don't go to them.
Would you say this
you
is
never
Steve?
know. I mean, in Canada, they actually are not that bad.
It is Steve. Okay, hey. Sorry, I didn't hear your name the first time. How you doing?
Doing good. How are you, Tim?
Good.
Yeah, Canada has like more relaxed laws on what the stripper can and can't do, right? Or what you can and can't do to the stripper. I
Yeah.
think you can touch.
I will say this for myself. For my own personal story, my very first kiss ever was with a stripper at a strip club.
That is hot, but also would cause me so much anxiety.
ALC Jr. in the chat says, imagine going to bang a prostitute and being like, "Oh, is that Little Caesars?"
I mean, think about it. You'd be like this. Bluesins. Do I smell pizza?
Little
That'd be
Caesars
amazing.
out of all the pizza. Man.
Greg Miller, a little boy named Greg Miller, texts in and says, "How about Disney Plus and Thrust?"
The old plus and thrust.
That
The
was in the
Plus
chat.
and Thrust. That's a good pull, Greg.
I like that.
That's a good one. I like that.
I
Yes.
mean, we have Steve. We were
Steve
just talking about
Saylor
strippers.
was on the phone.
Oh, very exciting.
Yeah.
Why? What's going on? All right, Steve. Thank you so much for that. Thank you for your embarrassing story, and I hope you didn't get any lip fungus from the stripper.
No, but I did pretty good that night, so it's all right.
Oh, okay.
It's like better luck tomorrow.
You did like what? I
The
mean,
prequel to
at the
Tokyo
risk
Drift.
of putting out too much information, what does pretty good mean? Did you get a number?
Let's just say I had probably a pretty good stand-up double.
Okay. I think that's a sports term.
That was a sports term, and I love that I don't know what it means.
I don't know what it means either. I think it means that he got. I think he got to second base easily without having to slide.
Got it. Okay.
Does that make sense? But I also think it could have. I was like, in my brain, I'm like, he banged two strippers while standing up.
Yeah, that's where my head went until I realized baseball.
Yeah. And I was like, how does that work? Do you go from one to the other, or does one is one behind you like bang, 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 right? And you're like, don't tell anyone that I enjoyed the hell out of this, but like I'm gonna ask my wife to do it when I get home.
Diamond in the rough.
Sure. I mean, basically my thing was at least my thing is I came out of there alive. That's a stand-up thing in my book.
And
We're proud of you.
Good for you, brother.
Can't wait to have you hosting again.
Yeah. See you on Games Daily soon. Bye, man.
All right. Take care, guys.
Ladies and gentlemen, this episode of Love, Sex, and Stuff is not brought to you by Trojan. It's brought to you by you. Thank you very much for all of your support on patreon.com/kindoffunny over the year. Back when we first launched Kind of Funny 4.0 in January 2019, God, that feels like such a long time ago, we decided we were going to do this new show called Love, Sex, and Stuff. What that show ended up being is different than what we originally imagined, but this is something that really excites us. And from the response of the live video that we did on Twitch when we did this for the first time was immense, and it showed that you guys really care and think this is a cool thing. I appreciate that sentiment. If you want more of this, you can always go support at patreon.com/kindoffunny, or just let us know in the comments below what you want to see, what improvements we can make, how often you'd want to see it, if you even want to see it at all. But anyways, I hope you're enjoying it because we definitely enjoyed making it. Back to the show.
All right, man. What is your name and what is your question? Who is your daddy and what does he do?
Fact or fiction?
Fact or fiction? Say that one more time.
Is squirting real or fake?
It's very real.
Squirting?
Very real.
Very real.
It is very real. I have never seen it with my own eyes.
I have experienced it firsthand, and let me tell you this. I was in the splash zone. Real bad.
Shit gets messy, dude.
It was a shocking and delightful surprise. It was. I've only seen it one time, and when it happened,
I agree. My vote is real.
it's definitely
It is real.
For sure, it's real.
It's real.
I will
It's
say the
not-
one time I encountered it, I tried to be. This is me, 21 years old, encountered it. Was trying to be cool. Everything was good. Walked into the bathroom. Literally shook my own hand like this. I went like that. I like raised it above my head.
I'm sure
It was
you did.
the crowning achievement
Yeah.
of my sexual life, and everything has been a slow slide downhill since.
Yeah. It wasn't fast. Wasn't wet enough.
No. I mean, everything was. It gets everywhere. It was
Yeah.
intense.
Yeah.
So you waited all that time
for
for that.
happened, but
You waited all that time for that question.
that was good.
That's a good question.
That's a good
It is
question.
That's a
It
good
is
question.
real.
Let's
It
let's
is
take a
real.
poll around the room though, because there are some ladies in the room. Gia, fact or fiction? Squirting? Facts. Gia says undoubtedly fact, and Joey just shook her head at me and said, "Don't fucking ask me that question. It's probably illegal." All right, thank you so much for your call,
Thank you.
ladies and gentlemen. This has been a roller coaster.
It has,
I'm
man.
still reeling from that.
Yeah, I'm feeling good.
I'm feeling great.
Yeah, I'm on a high like I've never been before.
There you go.
Because I'm happy that we didn't ruin someone's life.
Poor Harry.
Although that would have been great advice. Is there better advice in life than us actually answering his question about the person he would have been with?
That is fairly
Would've
true.
been
I mean, that
perfect.
would have been. I was like, "There's no way this is." You are on with Nick and Tim. What is your question? And what's your name? Start with the second question and then end with the first.
Sounds good. My name is Cameron Abbott. I'm the former Unsexiest comedian, now Rev Cabot.
Unsexiest comedian.
Okay,
What's
cool.
up?
Got you. Thank you. Sometimes Tim has what you just said. Tim had to translate for me so that I understood what the hell's going on.
Yeah, calling because, so, long story short, I came out as aberosexual on my 30th birthday, and I'm just curious, from a perspective of somebody who has who is majority of the time in the fluidity is asexual, how do you breach that when you're ready to try to talk about starting, like even just starting to date and have a relationship, knowing that sex really isn't going to be part of the overall equation?
I mean, married life takes care of that for you eventually. So if you can gut it out for a solid year, I think you're going to be okay. In all seriousness, that's a tough one.
Yeah, so hold on. The chat's a little confused. You said you are asexual.
Aberosexual.
Can you define that for us?
Yeah, I'm fluid within mostly asexuality, but I do have I do reach points of, I guess, bisexuality at that point.
Sure.
But for the majority of the time, my fluidity is under aberosexual, or asexual in
Okay.
my sexuality. So basically, like the difficulty is like I'm also somebody whose like love language is physical touch, which can get confusing and create problems in communication.
I imagine if you like physical touch but you're not crazy into sex, that might be a little confusing for someone that you're with. Is that what you're saying?
Yeah, I mean that's part of it, but also like how do you? Because communication, of course, is the number one most important thing, right? So
Yeah.
So hold on, Kev brought something up here that I think is pretty key. The definition of abrosexual.
Yeah, we're going to define this just for the Twitch audience.
Yeah,
that
is
may
the
not be in there now.
identity is the identity of people whose sexuality is fluid. This means that their sexual identity can change. Different people will identify with different sexualities within this. So one person may be fluid between lesbian, homosexual, and panexual, whereas another may be asexual, pansexual, or bisexual. Interesting. Okay.
So he's going from asexual.
Yeah, it's complicated.
You're going from A to B.
That's very complicated. And I'll be the first to admit that we are probably not the best people to field this question for you. But I will say, connecting with a person on a sexual level, while very important, is not the most important thing. More often than not, and I was kidding when I said it when I talked about being married and not having sex. That is not, it's an important aspect of our relationship, but it's not the only aspect of our relationship. Finding someone that you can grow with, that you can trust with, is paramount for you. And you're just going to have that conversation with people that you date and explain it to them. And hopefully they find, I mean, you hope there is a level of, I don't want to say compromise, but there is a level of you having to expand a little bit if you date someone that you're going to have to be a little comfortable with. But at the end of the day, you don't want to be doing things that you don't want to be doing. So, that's an ambiguous answer, I feel like. But
No, it's good. I feel like we are the right people to answer this because it really, this more than anything comes down to, well, just as many of these things do, comes down to honesty and communication. Talk to them, talk to your partner, talk to the person that you are considering sexual things or not sexual things with, and let them know where your headspace is at.
Do you have someone in your life right now?
No, it's like I said, it's complicated. It usually gets to a certain point in like going out with somebody, and then it's difficult to show interest without being able to show interest. If that makes any sense.
Are there any groups that you know of that are people that like support groups for stuff like this that you could talk to?
No idea. It took me a long time to really come to terms with who I am, and it's been a long journey, but part of it was just coming out and being out, and I'm learning more and more each day, and it's awesome, but it is something that, I figured why not ask some people who have a show about relationships.
That's fair.
My boy,
a bit of a different kind of question.
Cameron, my boy Mikey Keylock in the chat says, I feel like he might need to be open to an open relationship. How does that sit with you?
Oh, I mean, that's an interesting thought. I've never thought about that before, but instinctively, I just feel super jealous, even though that is a total hypothetical situation.
Yeah, that's not for you then.
And so then that's not for you. Yeah, that's totally fair as well. But yeah, it's definitely complicated, but I don't think that you're alone in these feelings. Like, even just looking at the chat right now, there are people that are I feel like you just opened a lot of people's eyes to a thing that they didn't know existed.
No, I mean this is a tough one, honestly, and it's complicated, obviously. And you started with that, but I would say, like, if there are people out there that have dealt with this before, it might be worth connecting with them and asking them how they broach these subjects. And I think if you can find a support group, or if you can find a therapist or someone you can speak to that has a little bit more experience with this, they're going to point you in a much better direction than I think we will.
But I do think that open communication, that is definitely key.
Oh, of course. I wouldn't want. I don't want to steer you into a relationship with someone and be like completely lie to them and force yourself to do something you don't want to do, because that's not going to make you happy, and ultimately it's not going to make that other person happy either. So yeah, maybe start there and go from there, man.
Thanks. Also, KFAF for streaming. I know I'm late on that, but whatever.
That's okay. We're starting the campaign right now for 2020.
2020, baby. We got
it. And I
this.
appreciate you. Right on, man. Thank you for the call.
Thanks, Cameron.
All right. Bye.
Tough one.
What a show.
Yeah.
What a show.
There was
this
someone
has
in the
been.
chat that said they called in about eating ass, and now this guy's got a real question.
Yeah, I saw Hunter.
It's fair.
Hunter was like, earlier I asked about too many dildos, and here we are.
Oh, that's what it was.
Yeah.
Too many dildos. That's fascinating.
Too many dildos.
That's a tough one, man.
Yeah, it is.
I don't know.
It is. That must be a very hard thing to navigate. And
I imagine it is.
yeah, it's
Well, I mean, to be fair, honestly,
traditional relationships are hard enough. And I feel
yeah, so I
like-
was gonna say, navigating any sort of like having that conversation about the things you do or don't want can be really, really tough. Hopefully, you can find someone you can have that conversation with, just like this next caller. It's gonna be amazing as I throw up in my mouth. Caller, you're on the air with Nick and Tim. What can we do for you?
guys, what is up? It is your boy Frank Herder. What is going on tonight?
Murder, baby. Let's go.
Man,
All right.
How we doing?
We're hanging in
Can
there.
you talk a little louder?
Yeah, my bad.
There we go.
Okay, I got an and stuff question for you guys, and I'm sorry it's going to get a little serious here.
Okay, let's get. Well, I mean, it got serious the last caller. Let's keep it going.
Yeah, that's true. I got a buddy, and he's dating this girl they've been dating for about 5 years. They are complete opposites. Me and my friends have already told him we do not like her. We do not think it is a good idea for her to marry him, or him to marry her, whatever, which way. They haven't proposed or anything.
Okay.
Oh, it's happening. Now.
But he does not listen to us.
He does not what?
He doesn't listen to us. He is completely just like, no, like, he's settled. What do I do to get through to him?
There's nothing really you can do to get through to your friend at this point. And the more you push, unfortunately, the farther he is going to be pushed away. I've seen situations like this, and sometimes it ends the friendship, and that's unfortunate. But you do have to let people make their own mistakes for better or for worse. That's my opinion. Tim, what's your take?
I think that this is very layered. I think it has a lot to do with what your relationship is with this person. And
He's one of my best friends.
if it's one of your best friends, that gets very, very difficult. There's no right way to go about it, because it's going to feel like you're ganging up on him if it's you and all of your friends. And if it's just one of you, it's going to feel like you might be coming out of left field, right? And because of that, I think that there's no way to actually get through to him until it's too late, unfortunately. And at least in my experience, that has been the case with this type of situation. But I do think that there are certain friendships where honesty and rawness are all that matters. And there's certain relationships where their happiness in the moment is what matters. And I feel like you need to really look back at what your relationship with this person is and decide where can you fit in best to actually help them in the long run.
Yeah, I mean, I think that's good. I mean, listen, you've voiced your opinion on this already. Pushing harder is not going to get a result that I think that you're going to like. I think more often than not, when I've seen that happen is the guy goes, well, I love this person, you're all wrong, and they push their friends away, and that ends friendships. I think the best you can hope for is that he realizes this person might not be best for him before they get married, and then once they get married, you can just be there for him, and that's pretty much it. I don't know what else to say on that one.
No, I appreciate you guys. That does definitely help. I mean, I've been in real with him. I mean, pretty much every single one of his friends has. It's just one of those things like, man, just get your head out of your ass. We all can't be wrong.
I mean, man, we've all been there. I'll be honest. I've dated people that I know were not right for me, but you just get in that mindset where you're like, I like this person. I'm going to make it work, even though it's destructive. And sometimes you have to go through that experience, and hopefully it's not drastically destructive to your life.
And honestly, like adding on to that, I feel like with what you just said about that we all can't be wrong, that is kind of the group mentality that I was referring to earlier, where I think that it all starts in a very good place. And I feel like it so easily turns into the more gossip territory of groupthink, of people kind of all being so connected on being like, yo, this is a problem, that the problem's not actually being correctly addressed to the issue at hand. And it just kind of like tornadoes out into this, like, it splinters into more issues than there needs to be. And I think that you need to be clear and direct, but also that works two ways, where you need to listen to what they're telling you. And if they're telling you you're wrong, you need to really, really think about, are you wrong? Are you right? And what's the next move you should make with them? But I think that it needs to be something that you do. If it is one of your best friends, it can't be something that you do aligned with others, because that comes across as bullying.
Now, there's another thing we can do that people in the chat are saying, and I back this. You can always go the sitcom route, where you put them all in a situation where they cheat on each other, and then boom, they're done.
There is that as
you see what I'm saying?
That is, I would.
Or
put
you take
option,
scandalous pictures of him.
26 letters,
and you
right?
blackmail him.
Let's put that at Q.
Yeah.
You want to put that at
That'll
Q?
be plan Q.
That's fair. We'll call that option
I won't
15.
I won't say that I don't know about her, because she's not the social type. He definitely is more of a social butterfly than she is, and I know that he has kind of flirted with other girls, and it's like he's even like they were about to go on a break, and he's even joked about being single, because like fundamentally their life goals don't add up at all.
Well, I mean, do you think they're gonna get married?
I hope not.
How old are they?
I don't know, because they keep beating around the bush. He's like, he kind of wants to, but at the same time doesn't, because just reasons. I just don't want to, out my buddy for all of this stuff. But just, I can see it going 50-50.
I mean, look, if you feel that strongly about it, it might be worth having one more conversation with him. But just know that the harder you push, you might get an equal and opposite reaction your way.
Yeah.
You're a good friend. I appreciate you being blunt and forward with your buddy. And sometimes we don't have the perspective on our lives, and that's why we have friends and family, because people can tell us when we're being fucking crazy. But also, you have to trust your friend to make his own mistakes, and maybe he'll come around and realize it was a bad idea, and then your friendship will be stronger because of it.
Appreciate it, guys. Also, shout out to Craven Moorhead right out there.
Craven Moorhead is fucking crushing the game, ladies and gentlemen, and so are you out there with the questions. Thank you so much for the call, bud.
Thank you, man. Thank you, Craven.
Craven Moorhead. It's funny because it didn't sound like Mike at first, but I think I saw the caller ID. I was like, well, this is going to be
I love it because they hit me eventually.
So
here's my thing. I want to do one more
caller
tonight. This is just too much fun.
I'm having a blast.
Dude, I'm having a... This is so good.
I loved it because we planned this. We knew it was going to happen, but we didn't know how it was going to go. This was
so
exactly what I wanted it to
be. And I want to throw a shout out to everyone out there that called in that had real questions. And those of you that called in that had fake questions because you were funny. If you weren't funny, I would have thrashed you.
Yeah.
But
We
you
were
guys elevated the
planning
game
on
tonight.
hanging up on a lot of motherfuckers. We didn't hang up on anyone.
Well, we hung up on Greg.
Well,
but it's because he...
And then he also hung out on us.
Yes, he did.
Time.
Well, we don't know if he hung up on us because Greg does that thing where he wheeze laughs for 5 minutes, and you're like, is he still there? Is he dying? Does he need a medic? Does he need an EMT to come to his house right now and revive him? Jen sent me a picture. They're watching the show from home with Porty. And I'm assuming Porty
I will say, out of all people that were going to call in, did not expect Mia Khalifa.
That is fair.
To call in our love section.
That is fair.
Sorry, go ahead.
Bob in the chat, his phone died.
Oh.
So he's been trying to get back in.
Do you want me to...
Is there a way to make that happen?
Yeah, we could probably whisper him.
What does that mean, Kevin? It's sexy.
You could whisper him for his phone number. We could call him.
Yeah, that's what I was saying.
Is Bob said he's in the chat right now?
Yeah.
Well, Bob could just put his question in the chat too.
Oh, sure.
If he wants to, and we can follow up with that.
But I feel like on the phone is
I
better.
think I think he might have done it.
I want to know. This is my question. I don't know where Harry's at emotionally right now.
Yeah.
Because I hope he's okay.
I
Harry,
hope he's doing good, yeah.
I hope he took that joke in the spirit in which it was intended. Sorry about that, but hope you're okay, bud. You're on the air with Nick and Tim. Caller, what's your name, and what is the final question of the night?
Hi, this is Jolene. I noticed you guys tend to have a lot of women call in, so I thought I would call in and ask a question about my husband.
That is very appreciated.
Love this.
Oh, this is good. I like this.
So, me and my husband have been married for like 7 years now, and
Congratulations.
He's pretty great, but he is sadly one of the least romantic people I know, and I tell him this all the time. But he tells me he doesn't like to do romantic stuff because he thinks that it will come off cheesy or like not genuine. How do I get him to be more romantic and do nice things without him thinking it's cheesy? Because I'll accept anything pretty much. I'm that classic romantic type, but he thinks that it would be cheesy.
So this is very complicated because I feel like it's a weird chicken and the egg, double-edged sword type situation where I have seen many times where people, one side of the relationship is too upfront telling their partner what they want when it comes to romantic gestures, which stresses the other person out. So they're like, oh, anything I do is going to be cheesy and you're going to expect it. And that causes them to not do anything. The other side of that, though, is if you are not pressuring them and they don't do anything, it's hard to find the right ways to communicate to them what you need. Because communication is not just about telling someone something straight up.
Yeah.
Communication is about getting your point across to the other in the most efficient and optimized way. And I don't know what that could be because every relationship's different, obviously. But I feel like with this is, it might start with one very real conversation about you wanting something and maybe give a couple examples and then end it saying, or something like that. Don't kind of say, get me flowers. because then when they get you flowers, that's going to feel empty on both sides.
Well, maybe, but maybe not, right? Because I think that, and I'll say this bluntly. Sometimes guys need to be trained a little bit when it comes to this stuff. I was one of those people where I was just like, I just didn't want to do any of that stuff. I thought it was needless, and I didn't until I realized how meaningful it was to my wife to do that stuff. I did not train it into my daily habit schedule. One of the things I had to work on also was being present when we were together. That was a big thing as well, because I would just meander off in my own brain. And so being focused and present when we're together is another one of those things that I had to purposefully work on. The thing for me is that he should want to do this stuff. You should help him to want, like, I'm sure he wants to do it. I'm sure you need to find a way to help him do it. Suggestions are great. I love the idea of saying, like, listen, I love getting flowers every once in a while. It would be great if you just got me flowers every once in a while. Just start there. And that way he knows, okay, flowers every once in a while I should do. He can figure out what that means on his own time. But occasionally just tell him, like, hey, I would really like to get flowers every once in a while. It's fine.
So here's my thing, jumping off of that, because I feel like we're about to get somewhere real good, is I think that saying that, hearing on how she's talking about him, about, oh, I'm not romantic, I'm not cheesy, all that stuff, is he has this a wall up. He has defense. So if she were to ask for flowers, he's going to be like, I'm not going to do that. You're asking me to do it, so like I'm not going to do it just because of this. It means nothing then. I feel like something that I've seen be very helpful in multiple people's relationships is this idea of the love language. The test that you do where there's I think it's 5 different love languages that you can have, and tell him that it's like, hey, I want to hang out with you. Let's do this. It's going to be fun. Make it sound like a game. People like games, you know, do the quiz. Both of you talk about, and then you have something that you can kind of discuss and go about. And it doesn't need to be something where you're requesting like, oh, it'd be nice if you got me flowers every once in a while. You can just say, one of my love languages is gifts, or one of my love languages is touching or physical whatever connection and all that stuff. And then you guys can kind of go back and forth, and it gives him the option to also say what he's looking for. So it feels like it's kind of more of a bit of a fair trade going on, as opposed to here's what I need from you.
I'll throw this out there as a suggestion, a very simple thing that you can probably do to get started. Find 3 very simple, low impact, not costly things that he can start doing in the next month that would make you happy. One of which maybe just be like, hey, occasionally during the day, I would love it if when you were thinking about me, you texted me. And then you can also do that to him to help ease him into that, right? So tomorrow, like if you have that conversation with him, and then mid next week, pick a random Wednesday and just text him hi or thinking about you.
Okay.
Because my wife does that to me sometimes, and it melts me. I love it every single time. And the more she does that to me, the more I go, I think to do that for her. Does that make sense? But I think this is something that it's almost habitual, where you have to train good habits into each other. And so I think one of the ways you could do it is lead by example. But honestly, find stuff that's super low impact that will just bring a little smile to your face. And I think, honestly, those are, to me, more important than the grand gestures. And I'm not just saying that because I'm cheap.
Okay, so I have a question of, because I think you guys are giving both great points, but you're kind of giving opposite. Like, I see where Tim's coming from. Like, if I say, hey, I want you to do this, it kind of feels empty. If he does do it, then it's like, well, I told him to do it.
But he's still doing it. And I feel like, yes, it does feel empty, but part of being in a relationship is doing something for that will make the other person happy. And over time, he will see the value in it. But you have to help him with the anxiety of doing it first, because he's putting himself out there into a place where he's not comfortable. So don't slap his hand if he gets dinner wrong or doesn't make the reservation. But helping him, like, part of being in that relationship is that you do have to help the other person realize what you want and how to go about fulfilling that need. And it's difficult and it takes a lot of time, but it can be really fun and it can be really fulfilling. But it does take you having to be a little bit more forward thinking and a little bit more proactive. And I know there's nothing less romantic than telling someone to be romantic, but at the same time, if 6 months from now he's doing it on his own and he's texting you and occasionally bringing home flowers or just thinking about you or calling you on the way home, maybe that's going to be enough for the time being, and he can grow on that.
Yeah, see, I am worried, though, on the other side, though, about doing that, causing him to be even more defensive and not wanting to do it even more. Because he's just like, I'm not going to do what you asked me to do, because then it doesn't feel like it has any real meaning. Because it's not like she's asking something that's personal to her. It's asking something that is a bit more like Like, do the general, like, buy me a card for Christmas. You know?
Yeah, but I feel like that's a need she wants. And
I understand that.
as a spouse, he should be willing to fulfill that and grow out of his comfort zone and try to do that.
It just seems like he's not doing that, though. So that's my thing is I feel like you need to kind of have a backdoor entrance to getting him to do the things that you're trying to ask him to do without actually asking him to do them.
Sure. And but my opinion on that is the way you do that is to not ask him to do grand gestures. It's just ask him to do small, simple things that he can start to associate with your happiness. And then I'm not going to guarantee it, but I feel like that will then begin to snowball into him doing them on his own. Because once you give him that happy fulfillment, that happy, like, I've done something and boom, I get a hit of happiness from it, he'll start to realize, oh, this is cool. This is not bad. I can just do this and I can grow on it. He may never be the guy that's going to take you to Paris on a whim. You have to be okay with that because that's not the guy you married. But at the same time, having an expectation that your husband grow a little bit with you is not necessarily a bad thing.
Yeah, I like that. That's great.
But also, you can try Tim's love language thing. I've never tried. I've never seen it, but I know you guys have done it. That could be fun too. And I mean, honestly, the way you approach this is very important as well. If you approach it with a fun, like, hey, this is going to be great for us and help grow us, that attitude, he's going to be a lot more receptive to it than if he feels like you're harping on him, which it doesn't sound like you are. But just be aware of how you're presenting the stuff to him and just let him know, like, hey, this stuff makes me happy. And then also be the change you want to see. Do it to him as well. I'll be honest with you. I got flowers one time for my wife, and it fucking floored me. I was like, this is awesome. This is amazing. These are pretty. I put them in a vase, put them out. It was great.
That's awesome.
Yeah. But I'm sure I'm not to say you don't do stuff like that for him, but little things go a long way.
Okay. Well, he is watching, so if you guys could just give him the push to do that, he would totally listen to you guys at least.
Okay. I definitely will.
Yeah.
Hey, I will say the same thing. Little things go a long way. I understand where you're at, especially if it's someone that you don't want to disappoint because it's probably the most important person in your life, your wife. If it's not, it should be. Send her a text every once in a while when she's not expecting it. Bring her flowers every once in a while when she's not expecting it. If you're not expecting, if you don't know what you're doing this weekend, make a plan. Be like, hey, you know what I'd really love to do is take you to this place that I know you'll like and that I'll like also. If you don't have to always be taking her to things that you fucking dread. That's terrible. But I would say little things go a long way to keeping you guys connected when you're apart and keeping your relationship connected in general, which I think is probably the most important thing. Any parting advice?
I
for
absolutely
this guy?
love that. Honestly, I think you know her better than anyone else. What does she want to do? What does she want? Do that. Yeah. It doesn't need to be a grand gesture. It doesn't need to be a small gesture. What is the gesture she wants? Give it to her. Even it could just be once a year. Do that. Start there.
Yeah.
I say once a month.
Don't worry about it being a replicable thing that you have to do over and over and over. Do it once. You're gonna get the reaction that's gonna make you want to do it more.
And that's my thing too. It's like I used to not like doing stuff around the house. Not that I didn't like doing it, but I like to do it on my own time. So like I don't mind doing dishes. In fact, I kind of find it zen. But I'll be like, I'm gonna let those things go to the end of the week. My wife hates that. So every once in a while, I get up a little earlier, make the bed, straighten up the living room, and do all the dishes. Not because I know like I'm gonna get praised for this, but because I know when she walks back in, it's gonna make her feel like she's living in a hotel and the cleaning service just came, and she loves that shit.
Dude, you and D got to do the love languages, man. You got to do the quiz. I'm telling you,
getting my wife online at all, she's like, I'm not.
No, you guys are gonna have you don't have to print it out. It's a thing you can just do whatever.
All right.
Like it's gonna be so much fun because it's exactly what we're talking about. It's just learning to understand things that are important to someone that you don't understand as important. And the moment that they say it in the way that the love languages quiz is kind of like builds it down.
I'm sold on this now. I didn't like this.
Man.
I didn't like this new fandangled new age shit before.
It's not new age.
But now I'm sold on it. Caller, are you still there?
Yeah.
All right, maybe try that as well.
And Chloe in the chat, just in all caps, says, "Eat her ass."
Well.
Oh, I'm gonna pass on that one.
Okay. See
and
again.
There you go. Hey.
Gauging people's comfort level with that move is an important thing before you go in to do it. You can't just do a backflip into water. You got to make sure the water's ready to receive you.
Deep enough. You know what I mean?
Thank you so much for your call, and best of luck to you.
Hey, thanks, guys. P.S. Greg sucks.
Fuck,
love you. Bye.
Way to end it. Great way to end it.
If you want, turn the phone off the hook so it doesn't ring anymore.
I'm just gonna smash it. Is that cool?
Just hit the on button.
Oh.
There's another call.
Wow.
Just hang up on it. Hang up.
What?
And then on.
We got to hang up.
No, that doesn't hang up. That just mutes it. So if you answer now, it will answer.
Ladies and gentlemen, this has been Love and Sex Stuff After Dark. I hope. No, Love, Sex, and Stuff.
Why am I looking at this like I'm a 50-year-old, like a 90-year-old?
know.
I can't see the power.
It's so funny.
Why is there no power on
So
this?
much
power
fucking
button.
fun.
You just have
I
to
hope
take
you
it off
guys
the hook.
enjoyed it nearly as much as I did. If you want
Caller,
more of
I'm
this,
sorry, we're done,
let us
but we
know.
love you.
Tweet at us. Leave comments below. This video will be uploaded on YouTube next week. We don't know exactly the time or date yet, but once it's up on YouTube, you'll know next week by Monday for sure. There'll be some type of plan. When it is up on YouTube, please leave your comments. Please share this with your friends. Share this with your family. Share this with your loved ones. We want to know the demand for us to do this again because I really hope that there.
Where is the power button on this thing?
There is no power button. It's not one of those phones.
What does it do? How do you set it off?
Just put it off the hook. It's fine.
Oh, just do that?
Yeah.
Kev, give me the
Hello?
Until next time, be honest, communicate, and eat ass.
You know what? We do have one more, Brian, but we're going to have to take you off air because Tim just did a great outro that I ruined by talking to you.